for the blessing of this ministry and having the platform to be able to teach the gospel to others and excuse me, teach them it's part of a daily life. To walk in Christ is part of the gospel. It is an inheritance where we receive for what we're willing to put in, not by works, but by faith, putting all the undying faith and in knowing that what we receive is what we sow, the seeds we sow for the Father, the seeds we do in his works, not our own. So that's, faith without works, it has to be by the Father. It has to be his will. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done. It cannot be our own self-will. So I thank the Father for the gospel and the teaching of the gospel and the understandings that I can give these people, the historical and biblical, not religious, because that is not what, it's not about a religion, it's about a relationship. And that is the relationship that we have between the bride and the bridegroom. It's not about what the world, normally when a bride and, a bride leaves her, the brother and the father, and then the man becomes, right, the head of the household. This is all this contract, and people forget that the contract of flesh was fulfilled, and they don't have the understanding, and it's not taught. So I thank so much for the blessing to have this platform again, and the ministry. It's overwhelming at times, but I just can feel always compelled to continue. He's the driver, but it's he that drives me to continue to go out and share this with others, because you're not supposed to hide this. This is you can't walk away from this or try to hide that light in a basket. He tells us not to. Don't hide it behind a bushel or a basket. Don't hide it. Light the whole house. Put it at the highest point and let it shine. Let it light up the whole house. So we have to share this. Temple is the others that we're supposed to go out. That's at fishers of men, going out and teaching others, about the good news and about sozo, that the endurance that we have to go through to get the inheritance. The inheritance is the good news. The inheritance is the prize. So I thank the Father for the lesson that I can continue to go out and hopefully simplify to these, it's not a complex gospel. It's you reap what you sow. So you sow good seeds, you sow it on good fertile ground, and you go out right. Don't sup with vipers, and you have to give it the chance of, thy neighbor, love, agape, like thyself too. You can't even change it in your own. You can't make an exception for yourself, like thy neighbor, even the next door. So love isn't in like bake them cookies and go make them, charity is a good thing, but I'm talking about put the commandments of God, show them the broad and the narrow way. This is the gospel. The narrow is the way that leads to that inheritance. It's the only way to receive the kingdom of God, and that is the inheritance, where I titled this, "To Let No Man Take Your Crown." So that will be the lessons. Thanks for coming in. Good to see you. Anxiety, thank you. Man, you are quite the talented musician, sir. Wow. Quite the set of hands you have on there. He gave you, wow, what a blessing to be blessed with the ability to, man, you could touch others with music, guys. Music is a time machine, if you ain't figured that out. Yeah, well, what works for me in my time is different for you. Hear a song and you might have had a broken heart, and that's, remember when I got my first piece, right? Or something, I'm not trying to go there, but please, let's just be real here. We got to keep this live stream, keep it real, filthy rags, trying to do the best I can with what I got, and so, but man, he gives us all blessings, as I've told you, and the ability to, music could be a very wicked thing, but it could also be a very, very beautiful thing, that harper's harp, if you will, his elect, that only his elect will hear. So I'm sure music has everything to do with this. The Father wouldn't have allowed us to create these things if there wouldn't be a good side and a bad side to both. So please remember that too. But man, when a song can lift you and take you back in time like a time machine, you can't tell me that's not a beautiful thing. You know, what a blessing. And then to have that ability, I'm not sure if you're a writer. It looks like you probably write all your own music and can probably read music and write music. What a blessing to be given that talent. You know, it's a unique thing, and I'm sure you have more than that, but just one of the beautiful things that God created on this earth, even though it's a very wicked place where they insert hallelujah. Okay, it's itching at your heart. All right, good stuff. Thank you so much. Anxiety, I do appreciate the hallelujah. So we were in the Hados, we were in that only the elect will hear that. Remember, brothers, sisters, nobody else. They'll go tone deaf. They will not have the ears to hear, only his bride. That's that wedding, brothers, sisters. That's the music for the wedding that I'm trying to tell you about. Let no man take your crown. Let no man the inheritance. Where that beautiful harper's harp will be. Those strings, brothers, sisters, strings. He pulls the strings, doesn't he? I hope he does. I hope you'll hear that. I hope you have that connection, strung. I hope you're strung to the, grafted, if you will, into the vine, into the neck, into the, the whole, man, what a beautiful thing to take the tree, and turn it into and string it, and to be able to create not magic, brothers and sisters, but a time machine. Hallelujah. I think that's the eternal thing. I think he gives some of this eternal anxiety. I don't believe that you'll lose that when you go. If you go to the abyss, you won't be able to play nothing except for a gnashing of teeth. You'll have the clacking, the gnashing, and you'll hear the grinding, right? Imagine that sound, huh? For a time or season there. But no, the beautiful wedding sound of the Lamb, those he takes to his father's house and had prepared a place and would tarry in the contract, not under the law. So when that music will be, oh yeah, all of us, you're never, ever, I guarantee you, anxiety, you're never going to stop. You will seek until you die. Seeking ye shall find. Ask. You'll always be, asking questions. You won't be settled. You're not settled. This is not something. It's an eternal question, eternal quench for that desire to the knowledge. Not, remember, it's depend what knowledge, again, it's not what goes in a man that defiles a man or a woman. It's what comes out of them. So careful what you put in your eyeballs and your earballs or whatever but either way, many of this is about frequency and tone. So armor will shield you from those things, like a lot of the things that happen today with with people not understanding resonance and frequency. That's all we are. That's all I am. I'm just energy. I'm not this meat suit. I'm not anything like that. All the things that I have are temporary in this time, but the eternal person that I am, this not flesh, but this spiritual person having this temporary meat suit experience, physical experience, I may rest for a long time. God definitely could throw me one way or the other. He can reverse gospel and pull me up into his book of judgments, and then reverse gospel, throw me right back into the dirt. I won't need a new body. I ain't got nobody. All right, so because I'm gnashing teeth and I don't need one, there will be a new heaven and a new earth where you will receive a new body. That's the inheritance, brothers and sisters. That's the gospel. The dead will raise. The gospel. Rise. That's the gospel. From the ashes, rise from the ashes, the gospel in the dust into that book of judgments. That is the gospel, the judgments that we receive, the inheritance that we receive, not by works, but by faith. Hallelujah. Right? But faith without works is dead. So try to remember the girding of the service that he requires is in his service, not of self, pornea of the Greek, latria, idolatria of the eyes and the dirt, but of his agape, his shem, his commandments. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely, anxiety. Then you totally understand. Please let your mind not wander too far, but think about the things that are on this earth. What if I told you they moved things with music around? It was like music to your ears. Or maybe they can move things without any tone, or not like that, depending on levels of oxygen at a certain time. You ever seen the experiment where they taken all the oxygen out of a bell and trap the bell inside with no oxygen, and you can't hear it at all, no tone, tone deaf, and then you turn the oxygen up and you can hear the ding, 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 ding. You ever seen that, anxiety? Because okay, all right. So you understand then. See, some of these people don't understand because you're a musician and you don't understand tones and frequencies, and beautiful, beautiful. See, I think music is such a beautiful thing, brothers, sisters. It can be created for good and evil, and that's what they've done. If you look at the frequency of music that you listen to now, that most people play, how many megahertz or like gigahertz, these are frequencies, brothers and sisters. This is how you could pick up a building and move it around if you had the right, if you could cancel a certain frequency. Germany, wow, things are rough over there on that side of the drink manual. It's getting rough here in the U.S. too, so God's bride is everywhere. Oh, absolutely. Oh, yeah. Let's not fear nuclear, brothers, sisters. There's been thousands of nuclear ordinances gone off on this earth already. Please say Nate. I'm telling you guys, please listen to me. Go see Nate at Canadian Prepper, and Nate will get you lined out on how easy it is to survive a nuclear annihilation. Seriously, who's seen the video from Canadian Prepper? Put Canadian Prepper. I'm going to start sparking this algorithm. This wolf. Ooh, wow. That's freaking absolutely epic. Thank you for that. Wow, that's on another level. The dog. Yeah, absolutely. They hold you down, brothers, sisters, by tone, by frequency. Please look into the frequency you listen to music at, and the frequency of, remember, water. You're mostly water. Water will map out whatever it sees. You guys know that water is a lot like music as well. Same thing, because it's like tones. It can capture and it holds through resonance, like a tuning fork. You can tune in or tune out, or like what, we're not trying to go over your head here, but with anxiety, what we're kind of talking about, how this all makes a humongous difference in how all things come to pass is by frequency and tone, energy, if you will. Gigahertz, millimeter waves. There's many waves, currencies, frequencies, radio, fusion, fission, pushing together, push and pull, reaction. This is what the same thing. How do you think makes that string hum? It's a push and a pull, correct? Strumming that tone, that frequency, the whole language is created off of this, brothers and sisters, the tone. Every single word, every jot and tittle has value, resonance, frequency. That's how they can cast verbal voodoo on you. Literal audio voodoo, frequency voodoo, microwave. Oh, they don't know about waves. They'll just stick their food in there and eat it anyways. Don't worry about it. They don't know anything about waves, millimeter waves, 60 gigahertz, 60 millimeter waves. You know anything about the big 5G whiz? Oops, excuse me. Let's not go. Oh, man, I'm getting a little, something is in the room. Feels like it's grabbing a hold of my oxygen. Millimeter waves, eh? Better stop with your Tesla tech, eh? Stop, no cancellation, negation. Negate the tone. You can make something lift, rise, opposition, polarity, positive, negative, push and pull. What do you think music is? It's like music to my ears. Tone. You cannot hear something depending on the oxygen levels. You can cancel a tone. You can cancel a frequency. You can, what do you mean gravity? Gravity, you mean positive and a negative polarity, magnetics. So do I have, what do I need a gun for, Manuel? I plan on getting away from these knuckleheads over here in America. I don't have a bunch of, at this point, a bunch of lunatics running around, moon worshipers, star and moon worshipers. They go after the Ishtar goddess. over here, I've got the ones that are more Catholic. They go after the sun god. They're Catholics, most of them Christians, and yeah, they fall for the sun god and the moon god. They're lunatics and sun gods. They sun and moon worshipers. So over here, they have them though. So like TDA, you know who TDA is, Manuel? You know the Venezuela. Their MS-13, not Mexico, but actually Venezuela. But why? Why do you have that though? Try to remember why you have it. Don't pull it out unless you're willing to use it. That's what my dad always told me since I was even, so you have the right to defend yourself, brothers and sisters. You have the right to own that. Nobody could ever infringe on that right, and they can't tell you what you can own as part of that. So let's go move forward with them. Try to keep pushing on with the lesson, because he said meek, not weak, correct? All right, moving on with the lesson. Meek, not weak. You cannot go outside and try to raise Cain, chaos, seek vengeance. He said, that will be mine, saith the Lord, not under this covenant. We fail it. I think most of the people in America have guns. Well, Manuel, during World War II, they were going to come over here to the mainland of America. Remember Japan? We had Nagasaki, double atom bomb, the whole atomic, like we were talking about, pucular, mushrooms, clouds. Anyways, the Japanese commander told the head of the military at the time, they're like a commander-in-chief, 4-star, 5-star general. They said, look, we cannot go over to the mainland of America. There is an American behind every blade of grass with a gun. So that was in what? When was World War II? 1940 what? 2 to 5 what? And everybody had, and how many school shootings have we had since then? These people were in cahoots with the government, by the way, guys. NHRA, Smith & Wesson, Ruger, and I'm not saying you don't have the right, but every time there's one of these events, people rush out and record sales of Second Amendment items, guys. You ain't paying attention. So I can't imagine how many are in this country. But don't worry, Mr. 45's coming to take them from you. That's what he's been set up to do. He is the pretendant, as already I showed last night, and yet last night's it got demonetized, but whatever. His channel's been shadowed in, and I don't give a rat's left testicle about what these people care. He already said red flag gun laws. He believes in prosecuting you after he takes your amendment from you second, and that's of opposition. This was supposed to be innocent until proven guilty, and so this is opposition of this constitutional right, your Second Amendment, and infringing on that. And that's why you have the rigid right to peacefully assemble. This is part of your First Amendment right, freedom of speech, freedom to church, right, freedom of religion, freedom of press. To be able to redress grievances, you have to be able to record the doings of your tyrannical, because if they start acting out, then that's what that Second Amendment right is for. Ballots, then bullets. See why your First Amendment comes first and your Second Amendment comes second? Because if they don't redress grievances, then you have the right to form those peaceful, form militias using that Second Amendment right, and then overthrow and instill a right and just government. People won't in this America. It will be taken over. China will take it over, and it will happen soon because it's already happened in this country. They just haven't changed the flag yet. And I'm still here, and whatever. I got to stay here in the belly of the beast. The Father has made that very clear. I can't leave. I have to stay somewhere within this confines of this new mystery. 40% of this world's resources are consumed by 3% of the population for decades. Welcome to the new mystery Babylon, brothers and sisters, where all the finest are right here. Teslas and sure, Trump Tower, Manhattan, all this. I now have the tallest building in the world. All this is a part of the big show, the big plan. So remember, its First Amendment is your right to freedom of speech, peacefully speak up. Yeah, remember in the book of Psalms, it tells us the only thing it takes for evil to flourish is good men to stand around and do nothing. America for the last 4 years. So America's done. Put a fork in her. You ain't figured it out. I'm just documenting that America's already fallen. And I warned of this time. I had a channel. What is that channel? Almost 10 years ago, something called America Ever After. And it's this America that it's America. Okay, by the way, there's no United States, not one. There might have been 13 colonies, but there's no 2 states that are united. I don't want to hear it. There's other people who are much more united, missed meals that have already come from a long way. and who are being paid now in this country and are the second class of the citizen. Well, you're the second class citizen in America because you're sleeping on the streets and they're paying these other people that are coming in this country. So you might want to figure out what's going on in this country. And the sooner you stop sitting on your ass playing video games and World of Warcraft and not doing anything about this, because you didn't stand up and use your First Amendment right, which you have the right to do, is peacefully assemble. Instead, you were muzzled, masked, masquerade. You stood on the X lockstep like every other worldwide scamdemic, the sword, the when your enemy surrounds you. This country was just a part of it, just like every other lockstep. They will move on with this country. You'll just be a part of it like COVID-19 that came and bam, it's gone. And now we're moved on, right? No, they're going to bring it back, but they'll push it on harder. It says waves. Don't think America, make America great again. That's the most anti-Christ slogan you can ever. MAGA is the high Satanist priest of the church. Get it? Nanu, Nanu, Shazbot, Rebellion, Canaanite. Yeah, that's right. A great again. Fuck that tyrannical thump tower, 58-story Nimrod decorates his house. Great again. This is going to get worse. Sorrows is what the book of Yep, that's what it says. Like a woman in travail. Don't expect things to get better. Expect things to get worse. Duh. You couldn't be more anti-Christ. Maybe he decorates his house with that and runs around and says, MAGA, MAGA, MAGA. MAGA. Maggots. Anyways, thumpsters is what they are. The most sleepy generation ever. Changed in the twinkling of an eye. Never said Creepy Joe once. Instead, it's, let's fuck FJB. Let's go, Brandon. Let's go. They all forgot about the Pizzagate and the Billary and all that underground. And I'm going to put the Billary in jail. She sits 3 bodies away from him at his inaugural dinner. The most sleep generation. They'll write about it, brothers and sisters. These people are the biggest idiots ever in the history of mankind. 81 million of them that voted for him, and they gave you the most popular president ever in the history of mankind, Joe Biden. See, you didn't stand up and do a damn thing about it. You telling me that Joe Biden's the most popular president ever in the history of America? Please leave. You're going to probably tell me 2 + 2 = 5, right? You got me and these kids on Common Core trying to tell me that somehow that, nah, you're not moving the goalpost on me with this current woke administration with the reserve, you know, this unemployment numbers. If I'm not mistaken, 2 consecutive negative earnings, quarters of negative earnings is a recession. It's coming, brothers and sisters. You better get yourself prepared for what is about to happen. There's been hyperinflation. That's what happened in Venezuela. And they all, 29 million of them were in that country. 7 million of them left. Where do you think they came? There's no other country that's going to give benefits. They're already here breaking doors down in Colorado, taking over their own people in these housing facilities that they've housed all these people in under your nose. So this is not, what do you mean under your nose? Fuck that bullshit. Joe Biden inherited a problem from Thump, who inherited a problem that Obama had, and they were called aliens. Was foreign, right? They're foreign from another country, so they're alien, right? No, they're illegals. No, they're illegal aliens is what we call them. Now they make a whole, okay, whatever. You might want to take some notes there, autistic. Go back to your ADHD world, okay? Concentrate, orange juice. Might find you on the side of a milk carton someday, remember? Not up to me. That's up to him. I'm in here taking up my cross. This is what I do. You're going to sit there with a name called autistic. Interesting. So, I was watching you. Help my help. Oh, I was watching you. Help me. Well, I used to be there too, but that doesn't make. So I'm not here to. Okay, so everybody tells me I'm schizophrenic. Hey, listen, guys, we have a doctor in here. Now, do you want to put me on some kind of medication there, autistic? Guys, we'll just play with the troll here for a minute, obviously. And we'll get back to the lesson. Hey, you have the name autistic. You know what sucks? Can you tell me anything about autism, asshole? You know, when I grew up, autism was like 1 in a million. Tell me what the rate of is autism right now. Or get out of here. Seriously, because I'm going to teach a lesson after you leave, swine. Tell me how many kids have autism right now. I told you how many had it when I grew up. Because, see, I'm obviously a little bit older. Thank you for anybody's answering on this. It's very, it's in between those guys. It's sickening, okay? So get out of here, autistic. You don't even understand what you're talking about. I don't think you even know what a gang is. It's called your sheriff, your government. Yeah, red, gang, blue, Democrat, Republican. Do we have a moderator in here? Somewhere I think we got a moderator in here. Oh, man. Wait a second. Where did that moderator go? I think I seen a moderator in here. Where'd my moderator guys go? There she is. I've got another moderator. Thank you for coming in. It's okay, guys, because we're going to learn a lesson. Everybody, they just want to put I got all of it. Schizophrenia, ADHD. I even got ADT, home security. Bye-bye, autistic gang member. You probably don't even know gang culture and even understand that people get into gangs because it's the only thing they have. You've never grown up in a city. You didn't grow up around gang culture, did you? You don't know about anything about these people who cut up people in bodies, MS-13. This is funny that you mention gangs. You know, there's another gang member right there wearing purple. Look at that gang member. And remember, a mass murderer in chief. This one, what color will she wear? Purple, red, or blue? Democrypt? Oh, wait, she's a Republican or a Democrypt? So, isn't that funny, guys? You people give their authority to the system that's been injecting them with the greatest jab ever, and a man who decorates 45 himself with the orange face, sun god, Mr. Agent Orange, with his butt buddy, Harris. That's right, a heresy. You guys don't even, the purple people eater, disgusting, filthy swine. Warp speed, yeah. Remember, start doing the comparisons I already gave you guys. Okay, thank you for letting me teach on that too, because I will. We need to teach on this anxiety, because anxiety is throwing out some truth. That's why I give this man, thank you, brother, for the wrench, because I know that he's in the word and he's admitted that we're all filthy rags. We all come from past that are jaded, did things we didn't, but it's when God rebukes our hearts and brings us to this aletheia, to this truth, this understanding, that we find out that this isn't, we're not here. It's not about us. It's not about what we've done. It's about what we serve daily after we start figuring out that the things of this world aren't for us. And even though we might have participated in these things, okay, this was something that, brothers and sisters, let me explain to you something about gang culture. The division. Now, gangs have always been around. There's been gangs, and they used to do gangs of people. You know, come on, think about serfdom and kingdoms, and these are gangs. Let's go, when I'm a prior law enforcement, first of all, let's just define what a gang is technically. I served as a law enforcement officer, so if I was going to go in and arrest somebody, there had to be some kind of, probable cause. So the definition, and I served as a law enforcement officer, I'm not happy of it, but I want to let you know too, because just like, anxiety admit, hey, I was in it, but I was a want. But because listen, there's a difference between a wannabe and a gonna be. But I saw this grow up. Maybe this will be, you might want to tune in for a minute, because this has to do with music too, guys, with this gang culture, Eazy-E, NWA, all these sellouts, Yellow, MC Ren, ATL, Living Like Hustlers. Guys, I watched all this growing up, watched all this pushed on people. Mr. Whitey, remember, Sellout, they did this within their own rap industry, the rap culture, this whole splitting and dividing hair. You have, brothers and sisters, I grew up and watched red and blue become a thing. I knew brothers and sisters that knew each other, grew up in the same area, now there were still gangs back then, but listen to me, this wasn't this red and blue Democrypt. No, that's not, I'm talking about Bloods and Crips, brothers and sisters, a true, the definition of a gang, so we understand, because I'm talking about this to give you that definition, is a heavily armed group of heavily armed. So obviously they have to be armed. They all have to be wearing the same color, thin blue line. They have to be wearing red or blue. They all wear the same color. They thugs. They go around and extort. A heavily armed group of thugs, all wearing the same color, going around and harassing and extorting the general public. And normally involved with law enforcement, who helps them to do all these things and is in cahoots with them, whether you understand it, through either biker gangs, either street gangs like the Democrypts and the Republicans, or the red or blue, the Democrat or their gang. I don't care what you think. You don't know what a gang is. I'm trying to define what a gang is so you can at least start to understand. You tell me these people, they're not armed. They've got groups of people that will protect them with armed guns. And after they take yours, I guarantee these people with their Ivy towers, you don't think they'll have some Second Amendment guys out there on their roofs protecting them? You better be careful, brothers, sisters. These thugs, these are tyrants. These are gangs, whether they're red or blue, or they wear purple, or they're, this, it doesn't matter. Let's get back to the definition. A heavily armed group of thugs that all go around harassing and extorting the general public that are all wearing the same color. So that's it. That's the definition of a literal gang member. Gang units would go and seek out these portions of it's normally it was 5 or 6 or more people, brothers and sisters. Okay. 5 or 6, a group, at that time, that's what the legalities in the 90s were, a group of 5 or 6, all the same people wearing the same color, harassing the public, going out and then extorting them for their resources. That's right, WMAX. So you see what I'm saying? Okay, so listen, but I want you to understand, people don't understand gang culture. Okay, now listen, this is all by design to break up the nuclear family. This all starts with this, hey, Jill's putting on Jack's button and Jack's putting on Jill's pocket, and this was not acceptable. This is it's multifaceted to get to the point where we are at right now, where they literally have one of the most violent gangs in the world inside of America, and people are just sleeping. They don't give a rat's ass right now what's going on in this country. These are the kind of people like MS Thing that cut people up, brothers and sisters. These aren't, because I want to kind of say too, like I want to bring up with anxieties, he was real truthful about a wannabe. Okay, a wannabe is kind of like not saying in a real gang, like a motorcycle gang, because a true 1% is a 1% motorcycle gang, is not these other 99 that go drive two-wheel, basically thugs. They're not a true 3-piece rocker, chevron, true 3-piece. If you'll know what I'm talking about, if you're in this, I talked about it before, because I grew up red and white, and my brother's red and gold, so I don't want to hear about it's the largest gang in the world, red and gold. Brotherhood, all these things, brothers, sisters, this is what I'm saying. Brotherhood, like is not something that you've ever had to understand. Listen, there used to be a nuclear family, brothers, sisters, at one point. We're going to go in the time machine. You might want to kind of sit back a little bit. I'm going to get a little long-winded. You go back in time, one income could pay a whole household. There were gangs back then, brothers, sisters, obviously, and things like that. But a man could provide for his family, wife, girlfriend, or provide the house, vacation money, savings, investment, children to go to college. All this could be done off a nuclear one man. She could stay home with the children if she wanted to go do part-time, whatever, have her own little thing. Women have always been very powerful and are not this whole labor movement. That's all by design too. There were very powerful women in history, brothers and sisters, but we're going to move back to what I'm trying to say with this time and space that we're in. Okay. So this nuclear family was something where the man could come home, the children would be there at the table, they would say prayers, eat supper. There was no division in the family. It was hard. There was outside influences, but it was hard to break up what we call the nuclear family. It didn't matter what color you were. This was America, okay? Because supposedly this was the melting pot of this nation, okay? That was a thing. And we'd come from the Industrial Revolution to come to this point with freedom and republic, Democrat, no, constitutional republic. There were rules and the laws of the land. But either way, now we're to this time and place where they, by design, started to break up that nuclear family by things like division of red and blue. That's called a tactic of war, brothers and sisters. It's called divide and conquer. If you divide up people, now if you're going to take their life, it's easier to just put them all in one building, go inside, stand on the X, do what we tell you, than have them all running around. But if you don't want to use any ammunition to actually put them all in one building and just get rid of them all in one ordinance, what you can do is you can start chopping them up, not literally and go like, well, you're an L and you're a G and you're a B, you're a Q, you're an R, you're a 2, you're a D, 2, and you're a C, and you're a 3, and you're a P, and you're a, whatever. They chop you up, red, blue, donkey. That's not, there's one race, the human race, man and woman, everything else, an apostasy to the word of God. He has some obviously physical things where he can alter, but I'm sure the pelvic bone would tell you what if we wanted to you can't bend the pelvic bone like that. Portion will always tell you, you can't change structure. She's not big boned. I don't want to hear that. That's not a thing. So anyways, men are structured different in the military. Women have different physical standards than men. We're built completely different from each other. We are not the same. So you can't put lipstick on a pig and tell me it's cute and I'm not going to kiss it. I just don't eat pork. It's not anything under the law. We're not under that. I'm not from the house of Aaron and Leah. I just don't want that low energy meat in my body. So either way, brothers and sisters, again, I want you to understand that the whole thing was by design to break up the nuclear family so they can start dividing and getting people into prisons to fund their prison planet. They knew that if they can separate, the husband from the wife and get him into this gang culture, brothers and sisters, I watch it happen in Los Angeles, California. I was born in the Valley. I watched all this happen as a child. I was there in the 70s when born right at the first part of the 70s, before there was any Democrats or Republicans, okay? People didn't even care back then. People would hang out with each other and they're like, maybe they don't care that they voted Democrat or they didn't put that red or blue on their lawns, and the children would play, and Jenny got her first kiss with Johnny, and little Tommy did his first backflip diving board, and little Joey got over there, got caught sniffing Fun Dip, and it's childish things, that the memories that they make as the families sit there and hang out and maybe drink a beer, or I don't think legal back then. Maybe they puff on a little medicine or something, but they don't care about the red or the blue. They never even Now, I'm not telling you that they just sup with vipers with the word, and obviously it wasn't known back then like it is the Busos, this ever increasing of this knowledge, but they didn't care if it was red or blue. They didn't even put it on, and if they didn't agree with it, it wasn't a deal breaker. Are you understanding the red or blue, this division? They would still hang out. The kids still did the bat. Now, if they don't even agree, oh, well, I don't like that Trump this, that. Oh, you like Biden? Well, Biden this. Oh, you like Trump? They won't even talk to each other anymore. Done, brothers and sisters. That's why I hate democracy. I hate this red and blue bullshit. You mix red and blue, you get purple. People eaters, brothers and sisters, all blood related to the queen. Used to be a nation where, yes, a husband and wife could hang out with another couple, the nuclear family. They both basically owned the homes back then too. But this wasn't that long ago. This was a thing, brothers and sisters, really, where people didn't care. 80s, 90s, people didn't so much divide if they didn't like FJB and FDT and all this nonsense and red and blue and divide and conquer, because that's what it's done. It sucks is the children have suffered. Like I said, little Johnny didn't get to do his backflip. Little Jenny didn't get her first kiss. Little guy, whatever. All these memories that you take when you won't talk to your neighbor because you won't even hang out anymore because you fly a flag. It's called divide and conquer, and you have been overcome by this government, thinking that red or blue is going to save you. Nuh-uh, that community and coming back, I'm saying, to this time and place and space that we are now, can trace back in time. So let's go back to the gang culture, because I know brothers and sisters that I grew up, went to what we called elementary school, junior high school, and then high school. And they throughout all that time were friends. It was about the time that we got into high school, my first parts of high school, by my age, okay, that this culture came about. It started too with the rap industry, music, because anxiety's into music. I want you to know they pushed this through music by like people like Eazy-E, who pushed, all his NWA and all that, Snoop, the biggest sellout ever, Democrat, Snoop the Democrat with his blood over there at the Roman games. I told you that dude's freaking nasty, filthy swine. Call himself lion. I wish I could go back Old Testament. I would straight knock the bull snot off of a dog. I'm dog, stray dog. Get out of here, Snoop. Anyways, brothers, sisters, check this out. Brothers and sisters, more so brothers that were friends, grew up doing all these things, like I said, riding through the streets of Los Angeles, bikes in the middle of the night, just doing all the things we would do to try to keep ourselves out of trouble, which was always on our back, and we just had to exist with it and learn to live with it, not get in every fight that somebody wanted, all these things. And the next thing you know, it came out with this gangster rap. Okay, seriously, this thuggery, already dividing the conquering with taxing, all these things, the capital controls in the 70s with Richard Nixon. You better understand this is coming back. Oh yeah, pushing these people, starting to push this economic division. Oh yeah, starting to flush out that nuclear, making it to where he had to go to work and she had to go to work. Don't forget, this didn't work like that at first. This was by design. You thought I went that far. I'm trying to tell you, this was very ingrained. That's right, getting this, making it so expensive, the cost of living for people. And they're doing it now with their capital controls and things like that as well. You're going to see the same repeat of history happen again, brothers and sisters. Oh yeah, we're deep into this recession, potentially depression. But let's move on with this lesson. Economically make it so hard that they don't come home anymore, buy buckets of chicken and buy dollar menu things in our day, so they don't even have time to sit down at a dinner table. See, still the same damn program, brothers and sisters, divide and conquer you by slavery. Debt slavery is how they got you to divide your home. No, you could have grown your own food. You could have found a little parcel out in that you do not participate in the, we're going to get, if you interrupt with Jill getting the button on Jack and Jack betting the button because he's in school, we'll come and arrest you. No, we're not going to put our kids through that schooling. We're going to do this ourselves. We're going to have our own little meat cabin. To hell with this big house on a little plot of land. Let's just find us a nice little acre, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, wow, we get a bigger lot than we thought. Where our neighbors can't hear us fart, and if we are over there banging on her and she's screaming no, nobody's gonna even hear. And now the neighbors are swatting your house because she heard no and thought she actually meant yes, like do me baby, but she said no because she's, it's no pleasure without pain. No, just kidding. Anyways, just I don't mean to go there, but this is what I'm talking about. Pushing people could have went out to the cities, live more in the dirt, but instead they pushed you into these inner cities. Took away your ability to have decent food, even think properly. All you can think is, I got to go to work 9 to 5 to pay these bills, man. I'm barely just getting by. I want to try to, and you're just robbing Peter to pay Paul. You're always just producing just enough, not even to have enough time to sit down and read the word of God. No, you buy buckets of chicken because you don't even have the time to cook it when you get home. You buy things like dollar menu items, yanked them, $5 menu coming back, brothers, sisters. I told you it's pulling back. You better get ready for depression, recession. It is here already. It's already, doesn't matter. Things will still hyperinflate, but some things are already pulling back. So please listen. The division, divide and conquer between two, starts with a gang culture. These people, young men growing up that I knew, friends, didn't matter their ethnicity. I was around potentially 70% Latino people because I grew up in the San Fernando Valley, but everybody was there, brothers, sisters. Los Angeles, the city of Angelos, messengers, and here I am with this message. Interesting place to be brought into this time and space and dimension. This culture was not part of this thing. There was there were PCB, Pacoima Crazy Boys, MS-13 from Mexico. There was other gang culture that had been around for a long time, red and white, biker gangs, 1%er, but there was not such a division where they said, all right, well, what we're going to do, guys, is we're going to do this division. We're going to give these people over here on this side of the street a red rag, and we're going to give this one over here a blue rag. Now, we'll give them prostitutes and guns, and we'll give them drugs and guns, and watch. They'll just sit there and fight with each other, and we won't even have to waste any bullets after we give them because they'll figure out a way to do this on their own, and they'll just start annihilating themselves. We will just save so many bullets that we won't have to worry about fighting them. They'll just kill themselves off. And this is how this was created, because friends that were friends since elementary school became mortal enemies overnight, brothers, sisters, over a stupid fucking rag, a color. And this created a culture where mom is now divided from dad because dad is involved with the gangs. They got the gang task force. He's selling guns, running drugs. He can go out there, actually sell drugs because mom's at home and she works 3 freaking jobs. So he basically raises himself, or in this day, it's the laptop or the Black Mirror or the iPhone or the babysitter. But back in the day, he could go and hang out with be jumped into just go run, a couple cops in the, Glocks in their pockets and Glocks in the bushes over there watching. Brother, sister, this is a culture where they can take and pay. Mom works 3 jobs. Dad's in jail, arrested. The family broke up. He don't have enough money to pay child support. Okay? You understand? Seriously. And now he can make what mom makes in one day, and pay all mom's bills. And he gets protection from these other gangs who will come in and do things, because these aren't wannabes, brothers, sisters. We're going to go back with anxieties. I saw it happen in Portland, brothers and sisters. I used to run the hell out of people in Oregon ragged up here when they brought a lot of these guys that couldn't quite hang in Los Angeles, because there's a difference between being jumped into a gang and jumped out of a gang. This is the difference between a wannabe, quote, that's what he said, and a gonna be. Oh, no. A wannabe is somebody who's fronting, if you will. A gonna be is going to do something to get himself into this, for this protection of the brotherhood that you get once you are physically by, or now you're jumped in by doing something maybe that is against, like I said, guns and drugs, prostitutes, brothers, sisters, crime, mass. A lot of it, it's part of this culture that they created. They did it by putting just a red and a blue rag in their hand and giving them things such as gangster rap to support that tone and to keep them thinking that this is drugs and money. What do they always talk about? How big my girl's butt is, how big my rims are, gold, fortune. Yeah, you're going to create something you're never going to be able to obtain, that riches. But it is at a level you're going, holy crap, I can give my mom this money if she works so hard, because I could pay for her, and I got protection now. If anybody comes around, for nobody's going to mess with me, because on this side of the street, we hold down this side. That's what's happening in America soon, brothers and sisters. They're going to start holding down pieces of America. And you're not going to go no-go zones in Europe, brothers and sisters. The Muslim people over there already, the cops won't go over there in France and certain areas. They will not go in and enforce the law. We saw that in Aurora, Colorado, where the cops were escorting people like the city councilwoman, a lady who was being harassed and threatened in her apartment complex, that the city councilwoman came and helped her get out of there. The cops showed up. They didn't bust any of the gang members. They just made sure she can get all her stuff out of there, and because it's a civil matter, we can't get involved. And before she even can get all her shit out, those people had already moving shit in, brothers and sisters. This is no joke. This is happening, and these are cut up kind of people, not gangster rap and people that are wannabes, right, who think they're just going around busters. A culture of busters is what they're called. You're getting the history lesson of this, brothers and sisters. A buster is somebody who sags their pants and wears a color, but they're not going to do anything. They're gonna be, right? No, they're a wannabe. They want to be. You know what I'm saying? They're not a gonna be. A gonna be is going to do what it takes to get jumped in, commit crimes, murder, sell drugs. You don't understand the culture, what it would take to get the brotherhood, because you don't understand what brotherhood is. You've never, where death is at your doorstep every year. It's easier to die than it is to stay alive. You live so cush in this country now. A lot of you don't live in these inner cities where these people, you're in this is happening. They shut a lot of this stuff up, and they kind of squashed the red and blue thing back. I don't know when that happened, and we still have a massive amount of gangs. But that was a culture that created division, whether you understand where this lesson went or not, because it's red, blue, it still causes division. Again, mortal enemies overnight over a stupid piece of cloth. Okay, there was the same thing going on, brothers and sisters, at the time of Rome, just so you know. Oh, yes, at the time of Rome, there was a red and a blue party back then. Yes, there was. This is nothing new under the sun gods. They're playing the same game. You've been tricked. You've been fooled. Red team, blue team. Remember that? Capture the flag. There's a lot of things going on. That's not no game, brothers and sisters. These gangs, it ain't no game to them either. You got to remember what we've done to all these nations for the last 50 years, stomping everybody with our oil dollar. They're not happy about that. They know they spend them too. We forced our dollar on every nation, brothers and sisters, and made it the most valuable. So, of course, they're very familiar with the U.S. dollar. Yes, they are. Our inflation and creation machine, we've been blowing them all over since what, 1913 in the history of the central banks, okay? The Federal Reserve, not federal like Federal Express. Oh, yeah, federal like a Federal Express. The Federal Express has no relation to our government, and neither does the Federal Reserve. They're the banksters, okay? And this is all part of their plan, too. The Rockefellers, the Rothschilds. Who do you think is doing this? Who do you think paid Mr. Whitey, paid Mr. NWA, gangster rap to do? It's in their culture. They tell you these things. They even create these little wars amongst themselves to go, we're doing it. We got one that's controlling us. Sell out. Frickin' sell out. Yep. They do this just so that you can also the taking, conquering, dividing African diamonds. Yeah, which aren't even rare. That's a whole nother thing. Create division amongst people over vanity, brothers and sisters. Diamonds, not even a rare commodity, but they can create scarcity and things like this, supply chains, or create things just like this, brothers and sisters. Division Divide and conquer is what they have done to this nation. That's why they have them doing the same thing. That Democrit Republican thing is no different than Cripid blood back in the 80s where that all started. And it's still prevalent today. People are still doing the same culture. But I want to explain to you that these gangs that are coming into this country now are not these, easy, take it easy peasy wannabe fake folk funk, because in the 90s there was no real Democrats or Bloods and Crips in Portland, Oregon, where I live. And when they come out, I call them, pull up your pants, dude. This ain't LA. We came up here. This ain't LA. You're not bringing that shit up here. Pull your fucking pants up. That means you want to get in the, you know what? You don't even know what sagging is. You ain't never been to prison. You don't understand this culture. Pull your damn pants up. Stop put your rag up. You ain't hard. No, you're the wrong color to be a blood. There's only bloods are only black, you fucking moron. You idiot. You're going to get shot. One of these people, one True Blood comes up. Pyru, bitch. Yeah, I ain't playing. I'm trying to help you out. Pull your pants up. Red, come up here. You're going to die. You ain't the right color to be no blood. I ain't playing. I know this culture, brothers and sisters. Ain't no such thing as a Hispanic blood. Ain't no such thing as a white blood. Ain't no such thing as an Oriental blood. Crips? Yeah, Democrit, right? Yeah, Mr. Snoop Crip. Crip dog, Crippin'. Yeah, freaking sellout, dude. That dude is the biggest sellout. I don't know why I don't like that guy. Well, because I know he was part of this guy, Snoop Dogg and Eazy-E and NWA and all this music, brothers, sisters. Absolutely the biggest sellout on the planet. Why do you think they put him in front of the Olympics in front of you? People just love this freaking swine. Filthy, filthy Snoop lion. Again, see, I'm going back to you. He was the lion from the tribe of Judah. Siri, what a sellout that guy is. Even to host the Olympics now showed you where his oath is. But it's back to the lesson, brothers and sisters. He is part of this gangster culture because he pulled the blue card, didn't he? Who's the biggest Crip in the rap industry? Snill, double, dizzy, deal, divil, dizzle, for shizzle, my nizzle, for jizzle, but dizzle. Freaking moron. Man, I wish I could be Old Testament, man. Me and that guy would go rounds. Seriously, he ain't nothing. Pimp walking, Crip talking. Get out of here. Freaking idiot is what he is. Pull all these people into this culture and think that and he makes million as all these people die in the fucking streets. You know what I'm saying? And he's making millions off of it. So isn't it disgusting, guys, what this music industry has done? Divided a whole nation of people. People even do this in other countries. Oh, there's Asian Crips and Bloods and all this nonsense, a culture now. It's insane how these people have fell into this whole thing. So don't think that music didn't have a massive part of this, you know what I'm saying? And all these celebrities that make these millions, like Ice Cube and NC Ren and all that from the beginning, guys. ATL, Above the Law. Come on, guys. Yes, it's all over. It just not U.S. It just flourished from here. It grew, boom, like wildfire all over the earth. This didn't limit itself to the U.S., brothers and sisters. Hell no, it didn't. This is everywhere. There we go. Thank you. You know what I'm talking about. It creates the vision. There we go. You can put it in a lot of ways, brothers. They start just calling out streets like I'm trying to tell you, Pyru from the original, brothers and sisters, from the original. And people don't understand this. So please listen. Now I want you to understand, okay, that a lot of people, brothers and sisters, got into the gang culture because it was a safe harbor, even though it might not have been right. So you don't understand what it's like for somebody to grow up in the gang culture and not even have a fucking choice in the matter. It's live or die on the streets. You understand? I told you, it's easier to die. You ever live in a situation where it's easier to die than it is to stay alive? Death is always on your back. No, you got easy peasy, Broadway Jeezy. You're under this. You're not living in these inner cities and understand what is going on and has been going on for decades. There's been millions of people who have lost their lives over this crap, rap, Democrat, Republican, divide and conquer, and it was unnecessary. If people would just listen to what would Jesus do? What would Christ do? You wouldn't do any of these things. But listen, if you don't know any better and that's all you know, you think these children think they know that they have a choice to sew on Jack's button or Jill's pocket. No, they think this is the way it is now. It's called cult of personality. You understand? It's what's accepted at the time culturally. You used to be able to go out and have a monster mash. It was a graveyard. No, as long as nobody went to the graveyard, nobody was going to jail. Remember that thing about people coming out and announcing how many closets? Hey, we don't care how many closets. We don't know how many closets you're selling at your house. Keep that to yourself. Get back in the, remember the whole thing coming and telling everybody about the whole closet thing, and we'll do the mash. We'll do the monster mash. We do the mash. This is a graveyard smell. Oh my goodness. Yep, somebody's going to jail now. We should have held the line. If nobody was going to the ER, basically. Remember, it was just, go on, move along. We're just having a bash. Cops drive right by. Well, you shouldn't be kissing in public. It was called PDA, brothers, sisters. A man and a woman were not allowed to kiss in public. It was get a room, wouldn't you? It didn't matter what people did once they were 18, brothers and sisters. It was always about the kids not seeing this. And if you kids saw it, we would do the monster mash on you. Yes, we would. It was a great, even though it was an opposition, because he said, let vengeance be mine. I'm just telling you, cult of personality, trying to explain to you how fast things change and sway in time and all these things, all by design too, because now with this wokeism, they've got everybody, instead of red and blue, they've got red, blue. I'm a snowflake. I'm special. I get a trophy every time. Oh, you got to tolerate me. I'm a kitty cat, so now you got to have a litter box in schools and tampons in the boys' bathroom. And oh, this is just out. Please, brothers, just now they're reading to frickin' kids, makeup clowns like Mr. Agent Orange Face Sun God, who paints his face orange, are reading to our kids in schools. This is where this led, because you would do the monster mash if we even saw you in public with another man. So don't think things can't change real quickly. Do you remember with that time? Do you remember the time? Yep, that was a time, a whole different time, wasn't it? Why did we do the monster mash, just so you know? Because it was about the children. Hey, if you want to be a clown and paint your face, do it behind closed doors. Keep it in the closet, right? Does this make sense? Hey, thanks for coming in, Michelle. Appreciate it. Does this make sense, guys? I'm trying to bring you through culture. What does this have to do with this, Tracy? You don't think that turning people into clowns, dividing them up into transgender gods like Satan, the both hoof, horn, and beast god, the transgender god, has anything to do with this, that children need to ever see this? I don't give a fuck what you do when you're 18. You want to take and sew body parts on and whatever, that's fine. Do with that, and do not let the children see that. You're lucky I'm not Old Testament. I would have a monster mash. It would be a graveyard smash. I would, seriously. But we're not under that testament now, brothers, sisters. I've never participated in that. I'm not condemning a man. You're not supposed to. It's not what goes in a man that defiles him. It's what comes out. We're not supposed to judge a man by his outer appearance. We're supposed to judge them by their fruits. But it is an abomination in the word of God to lie, he says, a man with another man, or if a man to put on woman's clothing, or a woman to put on man's clothing, or a woman to lie with a woman. So I'm just telling you what the word of God says. Take that up with the messenger. I go by the law, not a perverted law. There's still a law that we are under. And even though it is flesh, I don't think God just intended you to be a certain design and then say, well, I think I'm Adam and now I want to be Eve. I don't think that's pleasing to the Father. That wouldn't flourish us as a nation. There you go again, a divide. Man's in jail. He can't get the wife pregnant anymore, can he? Oh, she'll find somebody to find eventually. And I don't mean to go there, brothers, sisters, but this is all part of their scheme, okay? This is all part of their plan. Divide up the nuclear family, divide up the nuclear man, woman, child, and pervert this. This is still part of the same plan. And this one, if you'll research your historical history, and they're not going to like it, but this is brought to you a psyop by the dragon. That is who's doing this in America. So you know. Who's pushing this? The dragon. Over on the other side of the drink. Eventually they'll say that this is a mental disability or a mental, brothers and sisters, this is not, come on, soy boy, all that other, my son taught me some of this. I didn't realize, because he stays up, you know, I don't talk to him. I can't talk to him right now, but I was like, whoa. He's like, yeah, Dad, that's over there. They do the, because it's much easier to do over there in China, brothers, sisters. And I'm not trying to say, but they have a much more similar look than we do. We are very melanin spread out, if you will, in our cultures and customs. Not we have one human race. If you believe anything else, I'll call out you out as a racist, because I despise and I hate racism. I hate people who are racist. So you can be keep your culture and your customs, but keep how much melanin you have in your skin, and that makes you a different race to yourself. That's called racism. The children don't understand that color, or don't see 4 children from different cultures, and this one's from Saudi Arabia, this one's from South Africa, this one's from America, this one's from Czechoslovakia or Russia. They don't see color. They're just playing. We teach this to our children, brothers, sisters. We don't see color. We don't see race. When we're innocent like a child, we do not see that. It's taught to us. So I will not tolerate any racism ever in my chat. I'll squash it. You'll see I'll smash you so hard with the fact that God only created one race, the human race. That's it. And now people obviously, remember, let's go to the pelvic bone. Let's go to the pelvic bone. I'm tired. Let's go to the bone structure. We are designed. God created design by completely different. So there's no way that anybody, you can't get away with the crunch, Captain Crunch. Anybody as old as me, remember that little slogan? Because the crunch, yeah, we'll do the monster mash. We'll always give you away. So let's move on with this lesson. I want you to understand how this happened too in this culture, because I'm going to bring you up on time, how you accepted this America, how you allowed this to happen. And it starts with the men. It truly does. It starts with the men who, because at this one time, this was not acceptable. A man could not kiss a woman in public. People would actually not, now they probably wouldn't beat you up, but something would be said. They definitely would get on you because it was about the kids didn't need to see that sexual act. That stuff was supposed to be behind closed doors, like being closed doors, behind a closet door, behind your home, behind, that term is, if people really would have understand what that meant when they were saying coming out, what that meant, of what they were trying to explain. Okay, so listen, please, brothers, sisters. This starts with acceptance, tolerance. Listen, brothers, sisters, please, this isn't easy to talk about. It breaks my heart to see something like this happen, but we're here now. We have to, it's a cult of personality. We've made it this far. So not accepted. If somebody wanted to do it, most of the time, people really didn't care, brothers, sisters. When I was in the United States Army in the 90s, first part of the 90s, I told you Desert Storm, Desert Shield, this all the time. It was called Don't Ask and Don't Tell. I'm trying to be real with you. I'm trying to give you a modern day. That was what it was called. Don't ask, don't tell. Right? Keep it in the, right? Something about a walk-in closet, right? So, because the children, this has always been about the children. Don't lose your sight of what I'm saying. Take notes, if you will. I'm going to get a little more in a little bit detail, but I'm going to show you how we allowed this to happen. So nobody was allowed this in the eyes of the public, to even a man or a woman to kiss, because it was about the sexual act, children seeing acts of sex in public. Shouldn't ever be seen. And you can do whatever you want when you're 18. There we go. It started with the hippie culture. Thank you again. Hippie culture back then. 70s. Free spirit, free love. We start seeing a little bit of that mixing of the two together. It's okay. Remember, we're going to break that, right? Free love, hippie love. Does that make sense, guys? So now we come into the 80s, because they break that up, and we'll do the monster mash if it's in public, right? That was in adult places that these things were being done. Obviously, big concerts, Grateful Dead, all this culture too, very much part of this. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely, brothers. This is so ingrained. Project Mocking, Operation Mockingbird, our media, our music, our television, they're ingrained within, seriously, newscasting. So let's go back to this, because this starts with, okay, well, it's not acceptable. You can do whatever you want as long as we don't see it. So a little bit of acceptance right there, right? Well, do whatever you want as long as the kids don't see it. So the morality of this country is in the right place. The road to hell is paved with good intentions, brothers, sisters. Careful, the heart is filled with wickedness. But in the 80s and 90s, part of the 90s, Tracy says, honey, you do me a favor. Mary's coming over, and I was wondering if you guys could have a paper cutting party. I really, you guys, I want to watch. I love what you ladies do. I really do. I want to see you guys have a paper cutting party. You guys can get a bunch of scissors and yeah, no, you're not like this. No, I just want to watch. And no, that doesn't make you gay. No, stop it. Yes, if you have a paper. What do you mean if I'll eat the sausage? No, honey, I don't eat pork. No way. No, I don't eat pork. Well, what do you mean you won't have a paper cutting party if I don't eat pork? Smoked sausage. Come on, honey. What do you talk about? Just listen to me. Honey, come on. For me, honey, for my birthday, I won't tell you, ladies, I'm sorry that this is the way. I'm not sorry about anything. I apologize. I see this is the way this started because it was behind closed doors. And we're like, well, so you guys would maybe even start with a smooch in public. And we're like, well, that's not gay. Correct? Ladies, anybody, anyone? And you're like, no, hell, try the sausage. And you're like, no, hell no, I ain't eating no sausage. Hell that, lady, fuck that. You do the paper cutting party, but I ain't eating no sausage. Am I wrong? Anyone? We're having a lesson. We're having a little time machine lesson of culture here, how they do these things to us. It's incredible how fast things can shift in time and place and space in this time and dimension that we're in. Cult of personality. What do you think that song was speaking about? Anybody have a paper cutting party and say, oh, well, see, that doesn't make you, just because you have a paper cutting party. Does anyone? I think you know what I'm talking about. So bring your scissors, come over, but I'm not eating any sausage. And I understand, but nobody's put it this way. I have to speak around the algorithm. We live in a very woke world, okay? And I'm sure the this video has already been flagged for demonetization, but it's still worth the lesson to understand how these things like this happen. To go from a monster mash to, oh no, honey, come over, have a paper cutting party. We won't tell anybody, to being able for girls to kiss in public and then it just be acceptable. Oh, well, she's not gay because they don't, it's just this one-time experience. Starts subtle, doesn't it? And, oh, okay, honey, well, I guess I can do that or whatever. And then, I'm not sure how many guys ate the sausage, but okay, guys, I don't like talking about this. This is hard to talk about. It hurts my heart because it's about the kids, okay, no more than anything. They have pride parties going down the street with these clowns running down with their freaking genitals hanging out now. And kids are brought to these places, brothers and sisters. It's always been about the kids. I don't give a shit what I apologize for my cursing, but it is about the kids. You see, it'd be better to have a millstone tied around your neck and to be cast into the sea than to hurt one hair on my children's head. And this is allowed to, and I know it's God allowing this, but it's just brings the fire inside of my heart to think that these children don't know that this is something. They think that this is like, well, they were born that way. They don't understand. Well, it's not a choice. They were born. It's just a different time, brothers and sisters. Mr. O'Vomit, remember? 44, because we know about Man Shell. We'll use the name, right? Hello, he's the one who made it 50 states wide, correct? In all states now, legal, marriage, all this acceptance, tolerance, Edict of Toleration, 12th century, Rome. Hello, here we are again, guys. So, okay, then thank you, Deborah, because to me, thank you for a couple of you guys, even a couple you get, it's really, it's hard to watch the children go and so we are to blame more than you ladies. So, the men shouldn't have never done that and allowed that, and again, if you guys wanted to do things behind closed doors, but it should have never put in front of the children, of the eyes of the children. And that's why I think the men in America are the most weak nation ever to walk the face of this earth right now. And it sucks because there's a lot of military veterans that should and could stand up to, like myself, are willing to, do domestic enemy on the homeland. To hell with this. I don't care. My tourist service doesn't end when I sign my ETS. I don't stop and domestic enemies on the homeland, and I'm going to do something about it. I'm not going to bail ship, go somewhere else just because I'm saying this country sucks. Well, then leave then. How are we ever going to get fixed? How are we ever going to fix it if we don't do something about this? And you can't fix a problem if you don't admit that you have one, brothers and sisters. What's the first stage of alcoholism? Denial. If you don't admit that you have a staph infection, you're going to lose something. You're going to lose that whole appendage part or whatever. If you don't address the situation, you can't fix a problem. You have to admit that you have a problem to fix it, correct? This country is so riddled with problems that they don't want to fix because everybody's like, everything is awesome when you're part of Team America. We're so great. Make America great again. It's nonsense, brothers and sisters. So thank you for listening to that lesson because it's hard to teach. But if it touched a couple of you to let you know these children are not, think about it in school now. If your child is wanting to put Jack's bucket, her pocket on, and she wants his button, you know what I'm saying? That's right. Using your voice, Deadhouse. It truly is. This is what God tells us. We have to do this. It's in his commandments to take up our cross daily. And it's part of that persecution that we suffer by going out and telling people these things. In the book of Ephesians, Paul wrote in Ephesians 5, do not partake in their unfruitful works of darkness. You'll know them by their fruit, he said, right? Their unfruitful works of darkness, yet expose them. Show them, again, that is what it says. It's an abomination for a man to put on woman's clothing. It's an abomination for a woman to put on man's clothing. It's an abomination for a man to lie with another man. Abomination for a woman to lie with another woman. This is not the way that God created one race, the human race, Adam and Eve, one race, man and woman. Where does all this is perversion. This is a twisting and a change. God hates when we twist his creation or his word. So I do not give a rat's what people think about what I tell them, like I'm being judgmental. You're damn right I am. That's what the word of God said. Do not condemn them. I told you. Let God do that. You'll know them by their fruits. Do not judge them by their outer experience, right? You'll know them by their fruits. So if their fruits are not producing, labor, of the flesh, right? Or of the spirit does not allow us to pervert God's creation. This is what got us in trouble at the last time. They were doing the same damn thing when God flooded the earth. Oh, you don't think this didn't happen 12,000 years ago? This is the same thing we always fall into doing the same thing. Chimeras, mixing the iron with the watery clay. They'll try to do it with tech too, brothers and sisters. That is their transgender God, just so you know why they push this on you. Satan is transgender, brothers and sisters. The underlying story of why this is pushed so hard, because it's really as a whole, a very small portion of the population, but now it's pushed so hard. Oh yeah, it's getting much more prevalent. It's insane to watch these little girls in school become, again, like this, little boys that are it's not even the things they should even be thinking about. These are adult decisions that should be made at adult decisions. Whatever, you want to be something at 18, you want to do that when you're adult, but we never should have allowed our children to see any of this. We should have stood up a long time ago. And who pushed this? Our government pushed this on us, brothers and sisters. The government pushed this on us, just so you know. You're blaming it on, well, God made the government do it, but because God creates all things, but the government allowed this, brothers and sisters. Don't act like that. Who voted and made it legal in 50 states? The government. The government. So I'm trying to get you guys to pull away from this. Go back to the nuclear family. Go back to the nuclear lifestyle. Get your feet back in the soil. Get your hands back in the soil. Stop participating in this system, this beast. It gave its power and its authority to the beast. It's a system. It's a world ruling system. It's not a man. It has no gender. Neuter is what it is by definition. And if you know phonics and you know the basic vocabulary, right? Your basic literal, right? Periods, jots, tildes, all these little things matter, brothers and sisters. That's why he warned you of not changing. It is. We're here again. It's Weimar Republic. We're here. And we're going to see the hyperinflation. We're going to see all these things. Tough times are coming, brothers and sisters. But listen, if you get a hold of this right now, before things over hyperinflate and you put your treasure in this heaven, you can be rewarded. you will rise to the top like the laws of nature. Father Nature, the cream always rises to the top. No, there's no such thing as Mother Nature. Stop calling that Mother Nature. I like to knock the bull snot once again off somebody's head. Start calling. God has no feminine himself. The body of Christ is the mother, the temple, but that's the transgender God again. Once again, why they try to push that Mary, feminine, Horus, Isis on you. Yeah, no, it's our Father, and your mother is your brother's. That's your family, who you'll be with after you die. You might want to get this whole family thing unforwarded or perverted or twisted, because that is the gospel, okay, of the subject, about that treasure that we'll reap what we sow. I'm not talking about money, and you need money. Money is not the root of all evil. You got that 100% wrong. You have fallen under a spell of strong delusion, because you won't define. You leave jots and tittles out, you add jots and tittles, and he warned you about even adding one or taking one away. It changes the whole meaning. So money is not the root of all evil, brothers, sisters. You have to have a means, but eventually you don't need money. You could probably, again, go back to that organic lifestyle and live a meager life. I try to do it. I've not been super successful at doing it as a community, but I do it as an individual. It takes you and I to spell community, but whatever. This ain't no literal thing. I'm trying to tell you, there is abundance, abound. Things are like this. You'll reap what you sow. There will be a lifting. The cream always rises to the top. If you went back to a more organic lifestyle by growing your own garden, they couldn't, even if 20% of the population started just growing open pollinated, non-genetically modified foods, open pollinated heirloom seeds they can replant every year. The government, who controls by the FDA, right? All these Monsanto, hello. Oh my gosh. It's government controlled. It's the food, brothers. It's insane how far we've come. They've literally just taken and feeding us poison. You know what I'm saying? And we pay unreal prices for less poison in boxes and bags every year. The poison gets more expensive. The preservatives, the sugars, the poisons, the carbs, the wheats, all this genetically modified. If we did not participate in this system, brothers, sisters, they couldn't even compete in the market. They'd have to sell us organic food. Their suppliers would all dry up. There wouldn't be exactly like the 2 to 3%. No representation, no taxation without representation. They threw tea in the harbor. There's a net, and isn't it gross what you actually make? You have a net and a gross in it, by the taxation. No illegal taxation without representation. Where is their representation for all this taxation? It's represented in your W-2. You're a tax cattle to the system, a corporation called America, who gives its loyalty to the Washington District of Criminals. Columbia, my bad. The Queen, hello. And yes, no united, only divided. The government works for the corporation called America, which is part of the Queen. Starts back in the 1800s by taking your silver away from you. A bimetallic standard, by the way, just so you know. This has been divided and conquered since back in the 1800s, if you knew your history. It's easy to control one. You can't control two. They free market against each other, and that would, the silver and gold ratio might go back to 0, 1 to 1, wouldn't it? Like it was at the time of Christ, where they valued both silver and gold the same exact. Not was one more valued than the other. What is it now? 80 something to 1 or something? I don't know. It's crazy. Money, brothers, sisters, is not the root of all evil. It's the agape. It's the love of that money. You got to have money to be able to be wise and put up extra oil. Like you'd have to have a piece of land that you could live on, where no, you can't anymore. So let's have this lesson. Let's totally switch this lesson up from teaching to a little bit of my situation that I'm doing, and we'll go into whiny butt Tracy, and we'll ask your opinions on what I should do. Anybody want to give their opinion to me in the chat? I'd appreciate it. I don't, if you're just going to produce, something that's not making this situation or has to do with it, you can leave now. I'm all done with that, but we're going to talk about why I act meek, not weak, and why I have been planning. Somebody asked about when's the event that's already happening. What do you mean? Calm. It's already happening. We're already having massive effects. Look what's going on in Saudi Arabia with all these ringing out with the Honga Tonga. Look what's happening with our atmosphere. Look what's happening with the magnetosphere. Radiation penetrating through our atmosphere at low latitudes. It's already happening. I don't know what the hell happened out here in this valley, guys, but this valley lit up. And I think it has to do something with the inner portion of the energy that's electrically changing. The magnetics on our earth, the field is flipping as it flipped on the sun. I think some of these fires now are not started by like man-made, because we had lightning fires out here last night, and I've filmed some of this. It's still on fire. They have no containment. It's right there, right across the highway. We're supposed to evacuate next, okay? This is something that that's right, Deborah, because we're in it. Yeah, we'll see. Okay, I can still teach on it, and me too. So a little bit. Thanks again, Deborah, for coming in. But these fires, I think, has something to do with what's going on below the surface of our crust, brothers and sisters. There's an electrical connection, and I live right on the ring of the edge of the Great Basin. And I like this. I actually want this to happen, not like that, because I want relief. I don't want a pressure point like a kid with acne and pimple. It's, I don't mean to go there, but something's going on. I don't think it's that, or there's something going on. Go back and watch the live stream last night, guys. There was something going on in this valley, which was the wind was coming from the east, which was very odd. Normally comes from the west at that point. Very easterly winds are very rare in this valley, brothers and sisters. South, north, and west, yes. East, no. Last night, the wind was blowing from the east. If it didn't blow from the east last night, it would have burned this whole valley down. Every place. And it's still, they're flying out. They're all over out there. It's going on right now, guys. Like I said, I'm not going to listen to them. I'm not evacuating. I'm not going anywhere. Fuck you. You ain't coming here and taking my shit. No, you're not. Don't come on my property. I have the right under my 4th Amendment. If you're listening to this, feds, whoever the hell you are, who watch my chat, CIA, DOD, I don't care, top to bottom, whatever the hell you are, I'm not leaving. I have a fire shelter. That's why it's here. I'm not going to leave this property and let you come ransack my property with your government thugs while we're not here in this valley. So I'm going to hold this valley down. So it doesn't matter. I'll be fine. There's nothing where I have a place where the fire can rage right all over me. And that's not going to go. I 50 feet, under the ground. Well, not 50 feet, but a 50-foot fire shelter to protect me from 129-pound hail balls coming from the top of up above us. I don't think some fire is going to run me out of there. Okay. There's no way in hell that fire would ever touch what he made me do for half a decade now. Okay. So, I'm glad that I have these. That's why I'm trying to tell you guys, if you put your preps in place, no weapon formed against you will prosper. So sure, they could hit me with directed energy in there, but I don't know if they could, brothers and sisters. Not the design that I have built. I have scattered my energy waves in my shelter by design, spiraled, EMP proof, shielded energy, so it will scatter. I've taken protections for these things. I didn't build some nuclear fallout shelter. I built a sun shelter, a fire shelter, a hell shelter. Helter shelter? No, hell shelter. Hell shelter. Like, not like go to hell, like HAIL, like 129-pound hail. I believe with every ounce of my existence that every word that's in that book will happen as it says, exactly like it does. And it does talk about hailstones that are 129 pounds. Do you have a 129-pound hail plan? That would be like a Volkswagen or a little, what do they call those little Mini Coopers falling on top of your roof? Can't target any names. Like, stop carrying around cell phones. That's not true, Sticky Ricky. That's not at all true. That's not how directed energy works. You're 100% wrong. Cell phones help them track you where you're at, but that doesn't have anything to do with directed energy. Directed energy is directed to a certain point on the grid. It has nothing to do with your cell phone. That might make it easier to pinpoint. That's just a grid. That's not, but energy will go anywhere they direct it. It's directed to wherever they want it. It doesn't have anything to do with the cell phone. Let me help you. The secrets to the universe are 3, 6, and 9. Think about negative polarity, positive polarity, okay? It's just a matter of connection, if you will. So they don't need that a phone to make this happen. There's whole currents on our earth. They can tap into any of these things, anywhere, any place, anytime. If you happen to be in a certain area where they know the mineral content, they can just target the mineral content. They don't need to target your phone. So lots of things you might not understand. And thank you, Sticky, or Sticky, Slick Sticky, Slick Sticky. What are you lubing up there with, buddy? Anyways, thank you for your comment. But anyways, that is one way to do it, though. To make it easy for them is to carry that around, because you're just like a walking, like Sticky saying, you're just making it by carrying that around like a tracking, because it's always tracking that, so they can just, oh, there he is, oh, there he is. Or there's other ways to get you, though, other than the phone. But phone makes it super easy. It's never been so easy for the devil to, yeah. What happened to people that were spontaneous combusting? Get your Slick Sticky, buddy. Uh-oh, Muhammad the pedophile came again. Hopefully not around children. Keep your freaking son, your child pedophilia to yourself, Muhammad. Please don't come in here and talk about, we cannot stand that Islamic people don't know that their religion comes from Catholicism. It's quite filthy swine. And you think why don't people Islamic eat pork? They're not under that covenant. They're old covenant. Let vengeance be mine. They believe in infidels, brothers, sisters. Probably another one of these disgusting, filthy swine religions that believe in touching kids, like Catholics, priests, Kitty Touch much? Ishtar, who married her son. Remember Muhammad and Islam? They're Hamashiach. He's not a Hamashiach. He never nailed himself to a tree. He's a pedophile. You might want to read the Quran, filthy swine. They don't eat pork. Why? What's your purpose for not eating pork? You're not under that covenant. It's not what goes in a man. He said, let vengeance be mine. I rebuke every Islamist on the planet. You're ignorant Christians without a sun god is all you are. And Christians, you're just Islamists with a sun god. You're both two peas in a pod. Pedophile, pile, pedo. Yeah, pizza. Wide as the gate. No, he said he better have a millstone tied around your neck and he'd be cast into the sea, then hurt one hair. And you think it's okay to touch a child in a sexual fashion? I rebuke you. Don't come back here, Muhammad, please. I already told you that last time. Go change your name. Come out of her, my people, he said. God will rebuke you. Nothing I'm going to tell you. Do whatever the hell you want. But don't come back here. I don't cast my pearls before swine. I'll never be okay with touching children in any fashion. Yeah, the sons of God, too. So there are sons of God in here, the children of God. Some of them are 30s, 40s, and 50 years old. You might want to define what a child of God is. The sons of God, hello, his children. So we got to be real about this, guys. Some of these things we should be more real about. Islamic people are just ignorant like Christians. That comes from Catholicism, brothers and sisters. Star worship. I taught on that last night. It's on the board. Ishtar, the moon, the crescent moon, and the star. That's on their flag. That's the lunar, the moon goddess that married her son, the son of Satan, Tammuz. The daggone fish god, the Pope. Remember, he wears the Pope hat. Kitty touch much. See why Biden's a Catholic? Makes sense now. Biden is an Islamic with the sun god, called a Catholic. Islamics are just Catholics without a sun god. They don't worship the sun god. They are smarter than most Christians, just so you know, though, because they're evil. Wise as a serpent and gentle as a dove. Oh yeah, they know things that you don't know. Most 99% of you Christians, like Esau and the Edomites and some things you don't study. But we're not under that covenant now, which is beautiful. They just still the old. He fulfilled all the flesh, so we're not under that. That's the beautiful thing that people don't understand about the gospel, is that it came back to fulfill the laws of the flesh. It's blotted out, written on ordinances, on tables of stone. We're not under that anymore. If you go under that, you're putting yourself under law, and you're voiding everything he did by hanging himself on a tree and making a new covenant with his bride. So there's no, The only way to the Father is through that contract, through this testament, through this covenant, where he was the testor of that will, and it's a test of your will and your faith under this contract to be, let vengeance be mine, saith the Lord. So all Islamic people are going to burn in hell because they believe in vengeance. Yes, infidels, physical, going outside and going after somebody is Old Testament, kind of like the Pharisees. So I rebuke all Islamic people. You're filthy, dirty swine. You're going against this covenant. I rebuke everybody in America. Everybody in America, I rebuke you because you allow this government to go take our money and send militaries outside our own border. We're even worse than Islam, so you know. They just seek how many, anybody who's going against their God. We just go after everybody in the name of oil. We'll just fuck you up, kill your kids, kill your children. Yeah, your women. Oh, it's not just fighting age, the best of what you have in your country, 18 to 30, but we'll take those kids with them too, because it's so people could be free over here, remember? For the cause. For the oil dollar cause since 1973, we're going to force you, and everybody who pays for oil, we're going to get a little bit of everybody your money. Every single time we're going to force you to pay with oil. And if you try to start making some kind of Tesla tech, we'll kill you because Trump's got all that. Remember his grandpa? No, grandpa, it was uncle. It's not that long ago, brothers, sisters, that these things, this was 1800s. All the patents he got to go over by Tesla. Remember the secrets of the universe, 369, that opposite polarity, the moon, hello, sun, moon. Gee, I wonder why we only see one side of the lunar phase. So, yeah, well, no, there you go. Thank you. The swamp, brothers, sisters, the swamp. Look at where he was from. Here in America. He's originally from Scotland, his family, but look where he was born. What is it called? Where all that where he's at, where he's got all his. Look at the area. This is all going by a script, brothers and sisters. They don't play no games. This is going by a script. This is very serious to them. It's extremely serious. Where's Trump from? What's right there in that area? Didn't they have a fair right there? Oh, there's a fair right there. Flushing Meadows. Flushing Meadows. Drain the swamp, huh? Interesting. What an abomination. No, that's his butt buddy, behind buddy, abomination. Remember, it was an abomination, right? The one who stood in the holy place. Whenever the same place that Thump went and turned his back, right? Right? Yeah. They're doing it by the scripture, brothers and sisters. It's all going by this, as is above, so is below, on earth as it is in the ruling class and the ruled, on earth as it is in heaven. So never forget that's the inheritance that you'll receive. After he takes those with less, the gospel will have more. The lifting, the father nature I was telling you about, the cream rising to the top, and those with more will have less. The reverse gospel will slam you right back into the abyss. Well, if you're dead, we're all going to be dead. Nobody will be here when come judgment. He'll burn this place with fire. He'll raise the ashes and the dust, the dead from that. That's the lifting. That's your judgment. Hallelujah. Your inheritance is what this was about. Let no man take your crown, he said. Let no man take your crown. That's the inheritance. Let no man take your inheritance. That's the gospel. That's what you receive after this body. We're eternal. You can spend it in the new earth, in a new body, and new heaven being right here, not somewhere in the sky or somewhere it's right, or you'll go and you don't need a body and you go gnash teeth in the dirt. You don't need nobody. You don't need nobody. You don't. You're not going to get a new one. You're going to reverse gospel. You're going to be thrown back in the dirt. Why do you need a new body? You didn't believe, right? Not like thought in your head. You didn't put legs on faith. Faith without works is dead. You can't think the word believe. That's not a verb. Or excuse me, that is a verb, not a noun. Faith is a noun. Belief is a verb. You can't think in action. That's not how that works. You have to actually physically. He said, I want to find your loins. Is this your loins? Girded in my service. Are you putting in that shovel? Are you doing something he's telling you to do? Something, putting up extra oil, being wise, not loving money, but money having enough to help another brother in a later time. The cream will always rise to the top, brothers and sisters. How do you think he fed those people with all that fish and had extra bread and extra fish, huh? Interesting. It's like he knows exactly what he's going to do in the time and place and space that he's in, huh? Yeah, so trying to break bread with you here, so to speak. Sup with you, give you the ticket, out of here. It's in his word. Basic instructions before leaving earth. All of the answers to every problem you ever had are in the word. Yes, it's going by the script. You are just doing yourself. That's called idolatry. If you're having an issue, it's because there's resistance. It's probably because you're doing yourself. You're not denying yourself. No, wait, actually denying yourself comes with a resistance. You got it easy. You're probably doing it wrong. You're on the broad way. That's the path that leads to hell, the place with no body. Well, you don't need no body because you're going to gnash teeth. You don't need a physical body to go to hell. Hell is a place of no knowledge. What would you need a body there for? Not only will he strip you of your body, but he'll strip you of your knowledge. No, you'll have your body, right? The dead body lying in the dirt where the worms will eat. And oh, wait, they already did. You're dirt. Remember, he said he'd raise the dead from the ashes and the dust. So I don't care if the worms already ate you. Or you got burnt with fire in this fiery judgments that he's going to bring to this earth that are already in my backyard here. They're everywhere. It's just part of this cycle, if you will. The promise of the rainbow, brothers and sisters, he never flood this earth again. None of this Thump and his, buddy, Ivan the Terrible, and Barry Barack, with his buddy, Manshell Reggie, Ronald with his Nancy, whatever. They're all Jimmy, Barbara. These are Barbara. Yeah, Little, Baby Bush, and Senior, all of them. They all do the same thing. This doesn't just start with Manshell. It's always about a transgender God, brothers and sisters. The celebration of their birth of their transgender God. And these celebrations to sugarify you with your celebrations. Every time you celebrate, you eat sugar. More poison. The holidays poison you to death, but you love them. Yes, go to that fruitcake party that you celebrate and eat that fruitcake. Do you eat the fruitcake? Does anybody actually eat that stuff? Stay away from the fruitcake. Anyways, never mind, guys. Let's move on here with the lesson. The best thing you could have done all along already probably would have been to form a community long ago, if you could have. And don't be in perplexity now because there's still time. It's not the end of the world yet, but things are going to get more tabernacles in tents. Wandering Jews in the desert. Get it? Ha! Spiritual Jews, tabernacles. Temporary place of study, tent, if you will. So, but anyways, become your own, power company. Even if it's meager means, I don't have some fancy thing, but at least I don't have a power bill. I carry all my own water. I'm off the grid. I don't put money into the system. Didn't send any money to Ukraine last year. I don't pay no federal taxes or state tax. I don't pay that. I pay taxes on my land, on the phone bill, on gas, but I didn't pay federal tax. Why would I send money to Ukraine? The money doesn't stay here in America. We all know where they're sending our money, to Iran and Israel. Wait a minute. Why are we sending money to Iran? I thought we supported Israel. No, we fund both sides of the war, brothers and sisters. Bullets and Band-Aids. Rockefellers and the Rothschilds. They make money on both sides. The cure and the disease, correct? Hegelian dialect. Problem, reaction, solution. They create a problem, pre-planned problem. They know the public react, and they come as the hero to rescue you with the solution to their pre-planned problem. See how that works? It's called Hegelian dialect. It's happened before in history, and it's happening again. Whether you understand what these people, they do this they read books, brothers and sisters. These people are very wise people that are doing. My Father is in heaven, is wiser than all and exists, but my dad here on earth, he told me about this government. You know what I'm saying? Order out of chaos. Robert Emanuel, never let a good crisis go to waste, right? Sticky. Robert Emanuel, quote that. That's what he said. Never let a good crisis go to waste. They're going to ride the wave, brothers and sisters. They're going to ride the cycle. That's right. They're going to ride the crisis. They're going to ride the extinction cycle. And that's what you see. That's why they're preparing for us, spending money like it's no tomorrow, because we're already in the reset. They're going to go digital. Remember? Interface. They're going to shut off the web and it's going to go interface. That's right. You won't even need it routing. You'll be the router. Remember the jab? Patent 060606. Bill Gates. Oh, you easily to forget what these people have done to themselves. Unbeknown to them, they're radio towers. Signals, not microwave, but towers of communication. Pinpoint. You talked earlier about Ricky, sticky, icky. Ricky, got the sticky, icky. But this is what they've become, whether they understand what they've been inserted with is not the whack the nation. It's a protein spike mimicker. Yes, that's right. Proteins, nanotech. That's right. Interfaced, ready to collaborate. Right, congest. That's what it did. Remember? Capillaries restricted, forming massive armies in your body, preparing for an enemy, getting ready, all hands on deck. That's what it did to most people, brothers and sisters, lots of them. Oh, but the enemy never came, brothers and sisters. The enemy never came. It sucks, guys. That's what happened to a lot of people, what happened to their system. If you look into this, guys, ask the people who were embalming people. These people were so plugged up. The clot shot, guys, let's not forget, that's one of the side effects of what they did. This thing was massive. It was more about gigahertz and millimeter wave, though, to get you to think that there was some kind of upper respiratory, I can't breathe. Oh, George Floyd, don't think that this wasn't all a scam pandemic. I can't breathe. Get out of here. You can't breathe because you got that face diaper on. You're participating in their get-rich masquerade. They always have rich parties. Do they not wear masks? Welcome to the big show. It's a world stage. Dabu77, surviving end times here on YouTube. Quote, Dabu77, it's a world stage. That's right. It's all by the script, brothers and sisters. These are all actors. Whether they're red or blue, they're still just playing their part. That's right. Stunt doubles, if you will, huh? Two-faced jokers, jackals, two trump cards in a deck of cards that thump Trump. Joker's wild, correct? Yeah, you've been played like a sucker, like a deck of cards. Yep. Careful, this ain't a game of roulette. Careful what you're, spin the wheel. Well, it's still happening, Dodge. Why have people forgotten about that? Think that bringing up that you think that stopped? Not you, but the world. They just forgot about it. Thank you, everybody. If you haven't seen the documentary, suddenly decided to have no birthday next year, McDodge, get the heck out of McDodge. Or wait, no, it's get the heck out of Dodge. If you can't dodge it, ram it. Oh, anyways, my bad. But he's correct, brothers, sisters. Dodge is telling you that this is a very interesting, can you tell me, Dodge, one thing I took out of that more than any other thing? There's one thing I took out of that documentary more than anything. I'll give you a hint. I'm a veteran. Give you a little kibble there, a little piece of the puzzle. See if you can figure out what was the most interesting thing about the whole documentary. Truly, hands down, proved there was something that I'm a prior law enforcement officer, prior veteran. I was a military police in the military. Okay, I'm quite familiar with the way a lot of things are going. You know, the G-Wiz, the 5G Wiz is a United States Navy patent weapon, brothers and sisters, whether you understand what you're playing with or not. There's something that they documented in that documentary. Road digging for gold. Cool. There's been a lot of changes in California. Cool. Right on. Don't overdo it, but you need some of God's money. So remember, you can't eat it. Obviously, if you're digging, you must be around some kind of water. So you got the water situation. If you take food, you're probably somewhere out away from people. Nothing wrong with going and digging a little gold, guys. Getting away from society, going out and away and being surrounded by nature. And there's some sort of food supply and water supply normally when you're mining. So good for you. Don't overdo it, though. You know what I'm saying? But put up refiners fire, good God's money. Don't let them inflate your currency. Right? That's what no, it's money. Difference between money and currency. Gold is God's money. So all mine bailed my son out of jail. And then I got all my silver taken from me, but that's okay. Let's not go into that and continue on with the lesson here about what was the most interesting thing about died suddenly. Who put in the chat? Put died suddenly. Let's spark this algorithm, get this thing moving a little bit. You guys are getting a little stale in here, please. I need you to help me. Help this. The channel's doing it now. We just need to help it along. It's just part of this, what we have to do to be part of the channel. If you want to be a part of it, who saw died suddenly? Put died suddenly in the chat, please. Or put a 1 in the chat if you see died suddenly. Or no, don't put died suddenly, but put 86. 86 in the chat if you see die suddenly or die suddenly, please. Let's see who's participating. We know that 86, okay, he's out of here. So what I found, I just get a couple of you guys. I'll keep going. KDR, thanks for coming back in again. Well, please go watch this. Sticky, go watch this after you're done here. And go watch this documentary. It's not easy to find. Thank you so much, Sticky. Appreciate you guys, your comments. It does help. It really does. It helps spark the algorithm a little bit, guys. And I don't mean to do this with it, but I'll keep trying to. The channel's doing. In this, it talks about these people who are embalming. These are people who are dealing with dead people. Okay, the people who are dealing with all the death because of what had happened. And what they were saying is that as they embalm you, they go in through your choroidal artery, your main artery through the side of your neck. Okay. Okay. I'll help Sticky try to remind you of what was so important, guys. These people started getting in their areas where they were, anywhere there would embalm you. They were in certain areas. Think about what I just said. It comes in with an army of preventative. You know what I'm saying? Preventative, to try to build up this enemy that's what that protein spike mimicker, like your body's virology means we try to convince the ladies, hey, honey, let me just put in the tip, right? Do I have any ladies in here? Put ladies in the chat if you're a lady, okay? You guys, you ladies, we have any ladies in here? Does anybody understand how virology works? Virology is very similar to a guy asking you to put in just the tip, right? And I don't mean to go there where this is an adult chat. This is an adult chat. So if you're sensitive skin and you can't sit here and learn a lesson through a little bit of a parable here, or this might not be for the chat for you. We're exposing things through parables, and sometimes we have to speak around this algorithm a little bit too as well. I want to keep this channel up. I don't want to lose it. Over manufacturing spike proteins. Thank you. So Sticky gets it. Sticky's trying to explain to you what I'm trying to tell you guys. The whole put the tip in, and it's not, that's what virology, that's how it works. They're going to put a little bit of this supposed virus or what, I don't even want to talk about it. I'm going to go off on that, and then your body will build up an immunity to it, and you'll be able to fight it off if it happens. Okay. And that's the idea behind virology. The whole basics of virology is based on this ability for your body to fight off something. If you inject it with something that you don't want to catch, you're going to put some of that in you. Whatever you don't want to get, they're going to put some in you. Ladies, any ladies in here? You ever have a guy tell you, hey, honey, let me put in just the tip, right? That is virology. And I use it a lot, but it's part of the lesson. How did that work out for you, ladies? How did that work out for you, Debbie, when he told you, hey, honey, I want to put in just the tip, right? Is that the way it ended up working? Is that the way it worked out? Because that's how virology is supposed to work. So, brothers and sisters, virology works in a fashion just like some guy to convince some lady, hey, honey, let me put in just the tip, but you're going to end up getting the whole shaft, ladies, if you ain't figured it out. And you did every time, and I'm darn right about that, okay? Guys will tell you whatever they want. Virology it's a mess. Do you know what efficacy is? Efficacy, that means that's the record of the stats in this line of virology, meaning we're going to put a little bit in you and your body will build up an immunity to this. It'll form an autoimmune response, protein spike mimicker, to whatever bad thing that you get. You'll have enough antibodies to fight off the disease, we'll call it, whatever it is. There's a little bit of validity to it, brothers and sisters, but our body does this natural through what is called a virus. A virus is not a living organism. It's never been alive. You can't catch a virus. A live virus is the term. That is an oxymoron. There is no such thing as a living virus. It is not a living organism. A doctor does not wear a mask during this whole stupid virus thing. You're going to get the virus. A virus is, remember Bill Gates? There you go, programmable matter. There you go, Dodge has got it. Virus is a program. Virus is a program. We're lacking calcium over here. This system needs to reset it. It's a program. What does it do when you catch a virus on a computer? Hello, a computer virus. What does it do? It corrupts the mainframe program. Corrupts the program. Kind of like that certain, they said it was a hack. That's not what that was, huh? That was something in the system that's what, why do you think Bill Gates called it a computer virus? He's mocking you. Research that, put that in any search engine. A doctor does not wear a mask during surgery because somebody's going to catch a virus. You can't catch a virus. It's not a living organism. It's dead. It's a program. It doesn't have, it's not alive. How are you going to catch something that's dead? How are you going to catch a program? It has to be inserted, brothers and sisters, into the main frame to corrupt the program. Reverse virology, brothers and sisters, is what happened in this clot shot, because the body produced over an amount of, again, antibodies, again, kind of like the old TV guide, wow, or Yellow Pages programming. That's right, exact. They're super duper, man. What a good mainframe, basic understanding of how beautiful analogy. Thank you, Sticky. What a great old school analogy on how this has all been a program, and that that's what it does, is it comes in and corrupts the program. And so if the doctor is wearing a mask and the nurse is changing it every 30 minutes and he's not touching it, that is because there are 3 autoimmune responses that your body produces. If it's overstressed, overworked, too much sleep, too much toxins, it's going to produce something that's going to allow it to reset the system. And that is what is called a virus. It is part of your immune system, and you have 3 autoimmune responses when you do that to your body. So it's going to correct itself. The very first thing that it does is it creates the virus, again, which allows the program to reset the things within, but not a living organism. It's going to use such things as a doctor wears a mask to cover his face for surgery or anytime being around a doctor because of infection. Infection because from a living organism called a bacteria. Oh yeah, your body produces 3 autoimmune responses. A virus, not a living organism. No, it's not. A bacteria, which can cause infection. Now that's why the doctor is wearing the mask, because an infection can be caused, which can cause death. Oh yes, ma'am. Oh yes, sir. Yes, brothers and sisters. I know what the hell I'm talking about. I've studied this for decades. I make doctors look foolish sometimes. They're like, damn, you have studied a lot. You get to study what you studied in the box, and now I got to learn what you have to stick with this in the box. Keep your fucking mouth shut, and I don't. I know it's outside of the box. Welcome to the 4th dimension. You live in a box. You're a 3rd dimensional being. You truly are a 3rd dimensional being. You don't think outside the box. You do what they tell you. You're 2 snakes up a pole. You're evil. And I'm calling you out. You could have spoke up about this. You know damn good and well they taught you the basics of this. You could around and know that if you're a doctor, that nurse that is with you, okay, is they're changing your mask every 30 seconds, because in this autoimmune response, it's not this virus, it's that bacteria that can cause infection as well, because it's a living organism as well as a fungus. We produce a fungus as well, our brothers and sisters. Our body will autoimmune produce a fungus. So trust me, I'm very worried about sometimes when I put this out, because the next one will be a fungus. And they'll say, well, Tracy was right. I mean, the common cold is the coronavirus, so everybody's had it, so everybody will test positive for it. So we won't tell them that to begin with. All they have to do is look up the scientific name of corona, and they'll realize it's just the common cold. It's all it is. It's nothing to it. That's why the survival rate is 99.8%. We use this, test, right? What was the gold standard for the testing, where the gentleman who made the test said that's not what that said to identify CV-19 isolating the COVID, but that is a corona test what was that test called, guys? Does anybody remember the test? What were they giving people? And that blew your chant. Oh yeah, he definitely. I'm trying to bring you back, guys. I'm trying to see if you remember how this all went down. There was a test. It was their standard that they kept using on people to say, hey, he's got it. He's got it. What tests were they giving people? You guys don't see how this worked, man. It's so crazy how they're able to get away with this. If a virus is not a living organism, how the hell did they just pull this off? All you had to do is look up on anything, look through medical journals, peer-reviewed journals, look on the internet. You could ask Google gods. Ask it right now. I encourage you right now, get on your, because they won't lie to you. You got Alexa, you got one of those things. Seriously. Yep, the number of man, 666 is the number of man. So patent 060606, you'll be an antenna. That's right. This is very multifaceted what they did to people, brothers, sisters. Oh, don't think it's over yet. This is the pullback before the next intensity, the wave of intensity, where they'll unroll with their millimeter waves. Waves of intensity. Get the hell out of the cities, brothers, sisters. The further you are from those towers, if you've taken that jab, I got land. If you're that, I'm serious. I wouldn't turn somebody away because they had the jab. That doesn't make you any less of a person. The PCR test, thank you. The PCR test, what that did, brothers, sisters, it's like putting something under a microscope or a magnifying glass. Cool. Stephanie, that's cool. Dabu7 would call you a pure blood. Okay, but let's not turn our backs on people who took the sticker, brothers and sisters. A lot of people took it unbeknowing. They thought they were doing the right thing. I'm not talking about somebody who took the sticker. Booster. Don't sup with somebody like that. That's a lay down. They didn't even think for a minute. Are you serious, Tracy? Yeah, I think if they took a couple boosters, they're a bootlicking government. I don't like those type people. Somebody who just took it the first time realized, oh, wait a minute, don't be hard on somebody like that, guys. A lot of people that had no idea. They thought they were doing the right thing. They really did. They don't know anything about virology, brothers, sisters. Okay? They made them think a virus is alive and we're all going to die. And they could have got on Google. They could have got on DuckDuckGo. They could have gone on these all platforms. They could have went and studied peer-reviewed journals about virus, about virology, what I told you, autoimmune responses. The Deagle report, Dodge, we'll get on that 1 second because this is that's a good question. The rapid antigen test. Thank you, Deborah. Understand. So what this did, brothers, sisters, is this blew up. When they were testing, they weren't testing for an isolated. They never isolated the CV-19, brothers, sisters. Therefore, they never even could have created a jab for it, just so you know. If you know anything about virology, let's go. Just remember to ask me that question again, or I'll go back and look at. How long does it take to produce a vaccine, brothers and sisters? I think I can say that without sparking too much here. How long there is what is called short, medium, and long-term trials. This is virology. We're going to kind of work this back so you understand what they did. Operation Warp Speed was to usurp using the Emergency Authorization Use Act under the Federal Emergency Management Agency. Alpha. They declared a national emergency in all 50 states, which allowed them to usurp these short, medium, and long-term trials, brothers, sisters. Does anybody know about virology? And I told you we have a horrible efficacy, meaning a record. Normally, if something caused a couple of deaths or something, brothers, sisters, we would pull it back off This is the way this has worked since, seriously, brothers and sisters, since a lot of this started with this. Okay, exactly. It could be anywhere from 5 to 10, most of the time into 10 and even up to 12 years. They'll keep something before it's ever released. That's the same thing with boosters as well, brothers and sisters. The same thing with boosters. I don't care if it's a booster. It still has to go through short, medium, and long-term trials. And in order to create a jab, a virology, you have to be able to isolate that virus if you're going to do something in this efficacy. Okay, that's right, Jay. That was the Koch brothers, Donald Trump's buddies. You don't think that the gloves, the mask, the Lexan, that's all oil, brothers and sisters. That's all oil. Lexan, oil. Mask, oil. Rubber gloves, oil. All that mask had poly. That's a poly mask. That's not, most of those were mostly plastic. Rubber strap, plastic, oil. That was all more about oil. Most of that was, so you're right. And that was all pre-planned. Hegelian dialect. The Koch brothers, sisters, who made more money than the Koch brothers? Pfizer, the number one selling single product ever in the history of mankind to date, is the jab. The Operation Warp Speed, it takes 5 to 10 years to go through short, medium, and long-term trials, and they produce this in 8 months. 8 months. That's right. They never isolated, so there's no way they could have ever created this greatest jab ever that they said. You have to isolate these things to be able to create this virology, to create these things, brother, and they never did. So some of us aren't lied to. And we know there was a bigger thing about the G. Let me explain. I want to go through this, and I think I'm going to take a break because I need to get something to eat. I might pause this or let it run or whatever. But listen, this was about George Floyd and I Can't Breathe. Because if they can crown and let no man steal your crown, they could declare the coming of their king, the one that wore a crown. Do you know what I'm saying? And it's still, Jay, they won't. If you even open up the shot to this day, it will not give you the information of what's in it. Still to this day. You get a full printout on it. Normally it lists everything. This one says pretty much. Eat it, you know what? It does. I'm curious. It doesn't say anything. You guys know anything about what I'm talking about? Anything time you go to your doctor and you get any kind of injection, you not get this little printout that they bring you. Can I have the printout? They'll bring you a piece of paper, guys. Ask for the one that came with it. It comes with every single jab. It has to be there, brothers and sisters. It has to be there. This is part of the farm guy, the big farm guy, pharmacy and how they work. I told you I was a first responder, brothers and sisters. Law enforcement, I have emergency. I have a lot of understanding about how I'm going to put your guts back in your body until the wagon shows up, either to haul you off because you're dead now and I got to wait for the coroner to show up, or I'm the one who's going to patch you back together and put you in the wagon so they haul you off to the ER. So the job has luciferase in it. Luciferase, which is light. Thank you, Lisa, for your comment. So anyways, there's a lot of things that they found, obviously, that were in it, but it's not in the printout, is what I'm telling you guys. So every time that your child gets something, this DTaP or what all these, ask for the printout, and it's a big, long, big sheet of paper, open up like a map. Seriously, like a map. Unfold like a map. You know what I'm saying? And so and with this one, when you open it up, it says not what's in it. Nice. Walmart means martial law, tram law. Walmart means government subsidized corporation and cooperation with the Department of Homeland Security, who interned the Waltons Walmart during World War II. Concentration, re-education, Japanese, American citizens, brothers, sisters, not people born in fucking America, and they locked them up in camps in America. And you don't think they're going to lock you up? You're so freaking out of your mind. I'm the crazy one, but it's happened in history. So I'm the crazy one for warning you about history, about the Waltons. Yeah, who's responsible for interning, confining American citizens? Executive Order 11004, YouTube. Executive 11004 allows the Emergency Management Agency to relocate whole communities, YouTube, and put them in work camps. 15-minute cities coming to a city near you. Millimeter waves and millimeter bowls, walls that you can't get out of. I've seen it in the movies, guys. I seen it the other day. There was this fire truck and the guy pulled up. He's like, no! I was like, oh, that's what I was telling you. There's that Tesla technology. They were going to build the wall. There was going to be a wall that you can see. Remember, Tesla called it a death ray. Wrote the New York Times and said, are you guys morons? I'm not talking about some handheld pew-pew Star Trek. I'm talking about a dome over your city, a millimeter dome that will cover that no army, navy, military can penetrate. We need to get this fucking guy out of here, man. We're already investing copper, combustion engines. I'm in with frickin' Henry Ford. Heck yeah. And Donald Trump, he's my best. John Trump, remember? He's my, yeah, I'll have him get a hold of it. We'll knock that old man off and we'll take all his patents and we'll hold it until the 2024 when the sky rolls back like a scroll, and we'll try to use our CERN machine to try to get the fuck out of here. We'll tell everybody we're on a spinning ball, and when this firmament opens up, we'll try to get out of here. So we don't have to sit in the dirt forever and gnash teeth. We know there's something outside of this time and space, but we're locked in here in this place in time and space, and we'll tell them that we're third rock from the sun and that we're corkscrewing and spinning through that time. We'll have Operation Warp Speed, and we'll have, yes, and I'll make the Space Force. We'll add to their NASA, never a straight answer, not a space agency, the International Swim Station. NASA, can you explain the occurrence of air bubbles in space? Interesting. Moving on, brothers, sisters. You might want to, Stanley Kubrick, you might want to see about this space race, space farce, Mr. Warp Speed. Don't you see what this was about? Don't you see what they were trying to do? This is about millimeter waves, brothers, sisters. This was never about a respiratory infection. Why do you think they George Floyded you? He asked to be taken out of the car, brothers, sisters. Oh, yes, he did. Fentanyl? You mean George Floyd, the porn star? Oh, I thought he was in cooperation with the government. Really? He asked to be taken out of the car. I thought that man put his knee in his neck and said, I can't breathe. I thought he said, I can't breathe. I know you're going to get a respiratory virus soon, so we're going to signal what's coming. Remember Eric at the outside the store just selling cigarettes, and I can't breathe. Oh, it started. They always declare two witnesses. Oh, Eric and George, huh? Oh, Tracy, you're such a nutbag. You think whatever the hell you want. You think whatever the hell you want, okay? I don't care. I'm not here to impress you. I'm not here to try to score brownie points with you. I'm trying to tell you what the truth is. That's right. I can't breathe led to cover your face with a face diaper, didn't it? Yeah, it did. And then I warned you they're going to cover your face and jab you. No, Tracy, that's for your protection. Shut up, man. Stop. No, listen, brothers, sisters, this is all about a lack of oxygen. Yeah, and shut the fuck up too, right? Yeah, it's about breathing your own carbon monoxide. I'm a veteran, guys. Do you realize the proper decontamination? If you're exposed in a nuclear or biological chemical, there were no stations like stations for needles and stuff. People have, where were all the stations for the, thank you, Eric Gardner. You guys remember, I can't breathe. This has started it, guys, to get you to start to think about I can't breathe, which led to the upper respiratory infection called corona. PCR tests test you for corona, put you on a ventilator. That's right, because it was about gigahertz. I can't breathe, 5, 50, 60 gigahertz. Does anybody know what 50? Nope, not 50. That's not the right wave, millimeter wave. This is the same tech that Nikola Tesla was messing with, brothers and sisters. This is the same tech that John Trump was messing with. Millimeter waves. Remember, he wrote you guys are not talking about a death ray. I'm talking about a bowl I could put over your millimeter bowl. Millimeter wave. oh, there's another wave, 60 millimeter wave, 60 gigahertz. Can anybody tell me what that wave is? What kind of wave is a 60 gigahertz wave? It's an I can't breathe wave, isn't it? It's a tower. It's a grid. It doesn't go up in the air. It doesn't go across long distances. You need to be tied to the grid for this wave to continue the wave in a series. They put these stations across the, not microwave, very similar, Aaron, but not a microwave. This is a 60 gigahertz, 60 millimeter wave. Okay, this was used in the desert. Okay, let's take your little knob on your stove. You got one of those? You can turn it up high, maybe 1 to 10. Well, I can dial this wave in, up or down. Let's see that Iraqi is coming over the hill on his camel. Well, I can point that paddle at him with that wave. It's silent, so you know. You can't see it or you can't hear it. It's a silent weapon. It is patented by the United States Navy, so you know. It doesn't have anything to do with the interweb. That's not what the gigahertz, the big G whiz. The big G whiz is 60 gigahertz, 60 millimeter wave. So I point that at you, and guess what you say? Let me, because that's a good idea, a good comment. Thank you, Aaron. A microwave takes an inner structure. You notice heats food from the inside out, so to speak, or reverse, meaning your burrito's still cold on the inside, and you know there's a process that it does. What that's doing is that's exciting the inner structure. I can't breathe. The inner structure of your using frequency, vibration is how it's heating that food up. Frequency. Remember, it's not using heat to do it. It's like a radio wave, right? Like a well, what is radioactive? Radio wave. What do you think that? What do you think? What do you radioactivity? Radioactive. Rad. There was. You guys are starting to get it. So, 60 gigahertz or 60 millimeter waves causes, as a microwave would cause, an exciting of the inner structure of that would start the heating process by vibration at an inner cellular level by using waves of frequency, current C, millimeter waves, very similar to a microwave. A 60 gigahertz, 60 millimeter waves cause rotation, 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 vibrating particles. So you guys are getting it. So that's what that wave does. 60 gigahertz causes rotation. Remember all those people doing that? Turning around and dying, doing that? You guys remember during the COVID, those people falling right on their faces? The cops over there in Wuhan, people, announcers, remember what happened to that? Why aren't people still dropping like flies? Athletes, boom, gone, perfectly healthy. You guys, you're easy to forget these things. We're going to pull this together for you. I know we're going back in history. This is it. Listen, brothers, sisters, they're talking about it, though. They're telling you in that song where they're going. Listen, please. 60 gigahertz in 60 millimeter wave is a military grade weapon. It is a silent weapon. And if I point that paddle at you, because they use these, absolutely, they have others that interrupt your sound. This isn't a sound interrupter. This thing that it interrupts starts with the letter O. It starts with the letter O. What does this interrupt? It's not internet, because that doesn't start with the letter O. Think about what we said. George Floyd, I can't breathe. What are you lacking? There we go. Aaron's got it. 60 gigahertz is an oxygen absorption wave, brothers and sisters. That's what it is. It absorbs the oxygen by rotation, causes that to circular. That's how it, and this is what it's doing in your bloodstream. You have white blood cells and you have red blood cells. That's right. And how they oxygenate in your capillaries is by passing on along. And if you start taking and rotating that white blood cell, follow me, it can attach to the red blood cell and continue on in your capillaries. That's what you got. Remember, Ricky, because they were doing that. Remember? A lot of them were spinning and turning around and then falling down. So now you'll see why I'm trying to make this make sense to you. See, if we can get you to think this is an outer respiratory infection, brothers and sisters, which you don't have, and everybody thinks that this is going around, I can put you in a city. Let me ask you this, guys. Where was the first place from coast to coast, where was the first place to be completely, not in America, where was the first place to be completely outfitted with 5G? They said internet. Where was the first place in the world? There was one place on earth where they announced there's 5. This is completely, the whole city from one side to the other is completely outfitted with the G whiz. Which place was it? Okay, it was in China, but where in China? Thank you. Where in China? Thanks, Bids. Wuhan, China. Thank you, Sticky. And where did this all start, guys? Where did all this start? In a lab in Yale, smuggled up to Canada by 2 people who brought it to the Wuhan lab. That's right. So it was started in Wuhan, and notice that this all started in Wuhan, and this is where the first place to be outfitted with 5G completely, brothers and sisters. Are you falling for this madness? There aren't too many people who can be able to, I can scientifically give you the understanding too, because we talked a little bit about some of this white blood cells. I'm not trying to overdo it, make it simple for you. So imagine as that white blood cell starts spinning, okay? As it starts spinning, it's not allowed to attach, and so it's going to miss. You're going to have issues. And what's the first? So if I'm sitting there and I have that paddle pointed at, yeah, you got it, Sticky. You got it. You got it. We know we're not going to let them pull this crap on us. Whatever. Be not partakers in their unfruitful works of darkness. We're putting the light on this situation. So, no, it didn't. It started in Washington State. You're wrong, Vids. Started over here in the Pacific Northwest. The first case was in Washington, not state or DC, but in Washington, not in New York. Incorrect. Okay. Anyways, brothers and sisters, moving on. So as that white blood cell, oxygen, that's your oxygen, is your white blood cell, starts spinning, okay? Start spinning around, okay? Right? Yeah, with Kumo over there, Mr. Respirator. We'll get to Mr. Respirator in a minute. Guy should be criminally flogged and literally just an absolute tyrant. So no worries. I'm just trying to help you out. That's okay. We have to correct each other. That's what we're doing. Iron sharpens iron. So as this white blood cell is spinning, brothers and sisters, what this does is a military grade weapon. This is a silent. Oh, white blood cell spinning, starting up, and no point doing anything you say. Okay, bye-bye, Hunter. You've been in here before, Hunter. I remember you. I remember you last time. Remember, Hunter Nimrod? You came in here last, Mick Nimrod. Remember, you've been in here before. At least admit and don't lie you've come in here. Come on, you want to try to call me out. You've been here before, right? You could have not come back. You got banned last time. I called you a Nimrod last time. Remember, you were here, and you're here doing the same thing. Where did you get last time? Hey, Nimrod, I'm talking to you. Mighty Hunter. Okay, but then you still clicked on here. You're programmed like an Android. What made you click on here? You come back to do what? You guys, look at this. This is the kind of problems that we have society. This is the problem that we have. Even though he said I don't make no sense, he still comes back for information. You see how this is? You see how this works? This is what you call being programmed. Completely programmed. Keep tapping away there, keyboard warrior. Keep going. You got everybody's attention. We'll let you hang out in remote trolls, or we'll let you feed the trolls. Remember, I don't cast my pearls before swine. You're swine. You're low energy swine. That's why you were left last time. Don't change the subject. What do you talk about, Nimrod, mighty hunter, the bringer of the disease and the cure of the disease in warp speed? Don't you change the subject. Keep focused there. Concentrate. And I'm not talking about orange juice. I can talk about 15 things at one time and spin you in circles like gigahertz, 60 millimeter wave. Are you taking notes? I don't normally cast my pearls before. That's the notes you should be taking, the gems that I'm giving you that I don't normally feed people like you, Nimrod, mighty hunter. The one with the bringer of the disease and the cure of the disease and warp speed. If this doesn't matter or make sense to you, that's because you have blinders. The scales are on your eyes or it's falling on deaf ears. Doesn't make any sense, huh? This is the problem with people, brothers and sisters. You can talk to your blue in the face like some kind of avatar. Spock was the first one to bang a blue biatch, okay? So I don't want to hear about this ad, but you can talk to your blue in the face and it will fall on deaf ears. That's all you are, Nimrod, mighty hunter, McNugget, McMighty hunter. McDonald, McScrooge. So we'll let you, exactly trying to pull information out here and cause division. But don't worry, we'll go back to the lesson. People in here can concentrate like orange juice. They're not good. Some of them are taking notes. So are you done being fed? See, guys, the guy came in here last time. We just need to have this discussion. I'm not making any sense, but yet he comes in here again. You could have just avoided it altogether. See, I told you they're programmed. The government has these people programmed. They're androids. They're androids. They're a little like remember, they can't help what they do. Their mind is not their own. They've lost their mind. And I'm the one that's crazy. If I didn't like something, I sure in the hell wouldn't go back and listen to it again. So don't come out back here ever again, please. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. You don't make any sense at all. If you made some sense and you produce any fruit, learn. None of us are perfect in here. But to come into a chat and troll the chat when you already said, it just shows you the intelligence levels of people that they have none and they're literally being scripted. Scripted. And I'm sure he'll try to make an appearance again. It will get his in. He'll have, see what I'm saying? But so don't worry. Normally we have moderators and we normally don't try to. Yes, I do. I feed the trolls sometimes. So let's get back to the lesson. Oxygen absorption rate, Eric Gardner, George Floyd, I can't breathe, upper respiratory infection, PCR test. Where is the first place in America? First place in America to be completely outfitted from coast to coast with the 5G whiz, which is not internet, but an actual oxygen absorption military weapon grade patent by the United States military before it was ever released. Are you still in here? I can't believe that my moderators hadn't taken you out. I'll give you one chance to leave on your own. And I'll never forget you like that. Not like you got like space in my head. I'll just, when you're in here, because this is about my family and not you. You're not part of the bride of Christ. I'm not, maybe you are, but I don't see how you can come in here and tell me that I'm crazy when I'm actually trying to help people and bring them to information. And you're in here telling me that I'm fucking nuts and I'm stupid and I'm crazy and why are you even in here then? Why are you listening? You look so ignorant, actually moronic at this point. It shows the level of intelligence that you have. So please stop frequenting this chat, but you won't because you've been programmed and you'll try to come back again. See, you've been programmed. Something's making you do it. You don't have to, but you're doing it because you have no genre, no nothing. You're just a robot, basically. Program like a virus. You're a virus. That's what you are. You're a virus. Don't come back in here. Thank you, Father. Back to the lesson, guys. A virus. There was never no virus. There was never no virology, brothers, sisters. This was never about a corona. Corona is a circle, correct? A crown, an oxygen, a crown. So that oxygen absorption wave that's spinning in your red blood cells, your hemoglobin, that oxygen cannot oxygenate your capillaries, which was going to allow you to. So if I'm in the desert and I take that and I've asked you a question, please answer me. Let's keep this algorithm going. We'll stop feeding the trolls. This is from coast to coast. They outfitted in America. What was the first place from coast to coast? Report for misinformation. Is that what you're doing, George? You're reporting me for misinformation? Okay, well, you can find all this on your own. Okay, so whatever. Well, goodbye, troll. Brothers and sisters, why don't you do this right now? Why don't you look up 5G, 60 gigahertz, and see who patented this first? Oh yeah, you're going to come into my following where these are, or the subscriber base is people who come back here frequently and try to steer people out of here. Good job there, George. So, okay. Anyways, guys, back to the lesson. This should all start to make sense. People spinning, like I said, this spinning, people dropping right in their footprint, like a 9/11 building, right in their footprint. 3 steel buildings with 2 airplanes, right in their own footprint. Boom, right in their own footprint. Remember those people, guys? Let's go back to the lesson. People dropping like flies. What happened to all these people dropping like flies? What happened to these people dropping like flies? Newscasters, athletes. Why did that just stop? How come we don't see this anymore? Oh, they're done doing that, right? Please, brothers and sisters, what is the very first casualty of war? What is your casualty of war? What is the first casualty of war, brothers and sisters? And then we'll move on this lesson because I want to talk about going to war. Truth. Thank you, Monica. The first casualty of war is always the truth, guys. So don't worry about it. When you're over the target, you're taking flak. So no worries. They're always going to shot off the bow. That's no worries. Let's continue on with our lesson, guys. When we saw this was started in Wuhan, China. This is where this supposedly released out of this lab. This is where the first 5G completely in the world was outfitted. Where is the first place in America be completely outfitted from one side of the United States, New York to Los Angeles, California, and every state in between? No, China didn't create 5G. I already told you that, Vids. It was patented by the United States Navy. Don't spread false information. You're contradicting what I was telling you. That's blasphemy and against history, and so don't say that. I already told you. Where did you go against what I told you? I already asked you just to go look, and then you come in spewing nonsense like that. Please keep it to a minimum. I know you've been in here for a minute. I appreciate all your comments. I haven't seen anything derogatory yet. So where is the first place to be outfitted with 5G in America, brother? Says from one side of the United States to the other. What is Google? I don't know what you're talking about. You're off subject. Maybe we're talking to somebody else about a different subject. I'm not talking. Try to keep it on subject if you can. You can talk about other things in here with other people, so that's fine. But don't interrupt my lesson trying to interrupt me with something that's off subject. Okay, please. So where's the first place? I've asked you like 4 or 5 times, guys, and that's fine. I'll keep working with you. I'm good. I'm gonna get up here and make something to eat. From coast to coast, in every state, there was a certain something that was outfitted. I'll give it to you guys. I know. Come on, man, hurry up. I apologize for being so hard about this, guys. Every major hospital in the United States has 5G on it, guys. From one side of the United States to the other, they outfitted every major hospital with 5G, and they're still out there. All those paddles, they're a small square box, and notice they're not very large because it's not like radar that shoots up or ham radio in our atmosphere. It can't go through trees. It needs to be a grid system. This is not this type of, wasn't the line of the same place? Yes. 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 You guys got it. So now keep in mind, you're in a city. You're in a city, brothers and sisters. You have no corona. There's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you. Please listen to me now. If I take let's say I'm over in the desert and we've got this paddle and I pointed it at you, you're riding your, I don't want to over this, okay, you're riding this camel. You've got your turban on and you come over the desert, you're Mujahideen, Al-Qaeda, whatever, the ISIS, whatever, right? I point this paddle at you and I turn that dial up like a dial. I'm trying to show you how there's variants, how they can turn this up to 1 or 2 or 3, or let's say your dial goes to 10. I'll give you an idea how strong this is. If I point that at you at 1, that's going to start the process of this rotation, brothers and sisters. Think about corona, think about round, think about the Ouroboros, think about halo, the serpent eating its own tail, time overlapping itself and going back in time. Yep, back to your old dirt body where you don't need it anymore because you're no mas. Okay, so as this starts on 1, I turn that up. You are definitely going to feel that, and that will stop you dead in your tracks, because you're going to feel the ability for your body to be almost instantaneously that capillaries are being not restricted, but the oxygen flow is being cut off by this is spinning now faster. And now this white blood cell is not allowed to attach itself to the red blood cell, the hemoglobin, and pass into the capillary and oxygenate your lungs, all your body. Every cell in your body is oxygenated through this process, brothers and sisters. And this is what this does to you. So causes this lack of oxygen saturation was what they did to everybody, brothers and sisters. Oxygen depletion. You were suffering from oxygen depletion. Your saturation in your white blood cell or your red blood cells in your hemoglobin with the white blood cells was being restricted by the revelation of this turning of this white blood cell, not like a microwave, but remember them spinning. Now look at, now if I turn that up to 2, at that point, you're done. You're going to put your hands around your neck and you're going to say 3 words. And what are those 3 words? What are you going to say? You're starting to feel funny. And you're like, holy God, they're like, oh my God, you got corona, man. You're going to go take your PCR test. You're going to get tested and they're going to say, yep, he's got it. Because you had the common cold, corona, never isolated the actual CV-19. You see where this went? Because you got it. Guess where all the 5G towers are the strongest? That's right. So they've got them turned off in the cities down to about 1, brothers and sisters, somewhere between 3/4 and 1, and everybody, how much sleep, how much they drank, like it has a different effect on you. Okay, so there's nothing wrong. Okay, there's nothing wrong with you, but you're starting to feel funny, guys. Where are you going to go? Where's the first place you're going to go? If you can't breathe, where's the first place you're going to go? Hello? They're going to go where you're going to get a PCR test because they screened everybody for the VidCo, did they? That's right. You guys got it. It's grid-based. It has to be on each other, guys. I don't like talking about this, guys. I don't like talking about this, but this is what happened, okay, guys? Because now listen, please, you come in, you're in the city, they're at about 1, you go to the hospital. Thank you, Lisa. What's at the hospital? The paddle, guys. You're going to get the paddle. Call it the paddle, okay? Because that's what it is. It's a paddle. It's a little square paddle. Again, because when I turn that up at 3, brothers and sisters, you're done. You're flat on the ground and you are done. There is not enough oxygen to saturate your hemoglobin white blood cells into your red blood cells, and you will drop like a fucking lead weight, like a sack of potatoes, guys. There we go, Monica. Thank you for your testimony. People who would have tested their oxygen levels could be a freaking testimony. Thank you so much, Monica, for your... Not a lot of people did. So listen, brothers, sisters. So nothing's wrong with you, but now everybody's afraid of this COVID, right? They take you in, they give you a PCR test. Okay, cool. You should see it, guys. These are things you can visually say, this guy's crazy. Or you can go look at what I was telling you. Going, holy crap, this what? And they did it. Why do you think they closed the schools down? Because somebody brought that other. What did they do at every school, guys? When they lock down those schools, what do they install in all those schools? All the white vans come into the schools, all these contractors. Does that make sense? They did it in the schools too, guys. They did it in every school across that's why they closed the schools down. Why do you think they were installing? Why do you think they shut all those portions down at the hospitals and just did the VidCo? That made no sense. If we're in the worst, pandemic of the lifetime, why have we shut off major chunks of the hospital? This is what was done under the, oh my God, we're all going to die. You put on your mask. This whole thing was a fear campaign to get you to start going, oh my God, I can't breathe. You go there, they give you the PCR test, which is a test for COVID. who the person who came up with the PCR test said, look, this is not to isolate the virus. This is like putting it under a magnifying glass. And if you had a 1% chance of getting it, when you give this definitely says you have it. That's how they got away with this. Okay. My favorite channel. Cool. Thank you, Ty, for whatever. This is the glory guide. Listen, brothers, sisters. So you're going to go into that hospital. You're going to take that PCR test. They're going to tell you that you have the vid. Okay, nice. Brothers and sisters, they're going to give you 2 jabs. Can anybody name the 2 jabs? Once you've been tested, you've got it. You got the vid, right? No, you don't. You're suffering from oxygen saturation in your hemoglobin. Thanks for coming in, Shen Taylor. You guys tracking? Can I move forward here? Is everybody tracking where we're going? You showed up. There's nothing wrong with you. You don't have any kind of upper respiratory infection. This is all about oxygen saturation. You get in there, you go from a 1, probably where they have these. Remember the dial? You go in the hospital, it's about 1 1/4. That's going to cause you to feel even more. Okay, that's going to even more, right? Then they're going to say, oh my gosh, he's got it. We need to give him 2 jabs. What did they call those guys? Remember Trump took one, the chlorine shot. Remember the chlorine one? It's fish tank cleaners, brothers and sisters, is what it is. I know, I've used it for years. I've done fish hobby for, normally it's very rare for me not to have at least 10 fish tanks in my house. It's fish tank cleaner. They used it in malaria, brothers and sisters. This is what they gave people. Hydroxychloroquine. Thank you. What was the other one? The really expensive one. They said, no, we can't do that. We want one that's way more, started with an R. Thank you, Sticky. You guys are awesome, guys. Thank you for coming, because everybody forgot this, guys. Everybody forgot this. And I have it, because there truly is one man who really controlled this. Not that one, the other one. Started with the R. Rezenzafit. Remember? The really expensive one? Brothers, sisters, both of these are blood thinners. Blood thinners. Please listen to me, guys. This is where it gets crazy. This is where it gets nuts, guys. I cannot believe what they did to our public, guys. Because this brings in Mr. Ford Respirator, Mr. Kumo in New York. This is all leading up to what they're about to do to you. Both of those are actually fish tank cleaner is hydroxychloroquine in the same simple under another name, brothers and sisters. I'm sorry again, Sticky, that they killed your dad. I know this happened to a lot. I told this people like, oh my God, Tracy, that's exactly, because they were there, brothers and sisters. So you show up with your spouse, they feel kind of funny, they go in the hospital, they have to take the test. They won't let you in there. And you're thinking you're fucking dying, guys. You're short of breath. Then they give you hydroxychloroquine, Rezenzafir, and what happens to your levels and your oxygen levels, guys? What are your oxygen levels going to do at that point? Oh my God, he's having respiratory failure. Look at his oxygen levels. They're dropping. Oh, it's so multifaceted, squad or quad. This is so this people didn't even realize this is what was happening, all under the guises of a respiratory infection when it was a oxygen saturation. And you go to the hospital, there's nothing. Then they've tagged you with the vid. They give you the blood thinner. That spikes, and then what do they do to you next? Thank you, Taylor. And I'm not trying to thank you for your testimony. What do they do to you next, guys? Thank you, guys. Now think about this. If your lungs had no problems, guys, you had no respiratory problems. You didn't come in there with a respiratory problem. You came in there with an oxygen saturation problem in your hemoglobin. Your spikes, they're going to put you on a respirator. Has you ever worked out and not worked out at all? And they pump your lungs for 3 or 4 or 5 hours. It's massaging them. It's exercising them for you. It's doing this for you, right? Boom, boom. That's what that's doing. That's why Trump said we need more respirators. We need more respirators. We're going to have Ford do respirators. Never forget Mr. Ford respirator, Donald McScrooge with Mr. Kumo with their New York respirators. And we're going to have Ford build these respirators, guys. This was sickening to watch this crap. I knew what was going on the whole time. Imagine how hard it was for me. I've been holding on to this. I haven't talked about this, guys, in probably 6 months on this channel. So they put you on a respirator. You did not come in there with an upper respiratory infection. You spiked because they gave you a blood thinner. So if they take and massage your lungs for 3 or 4 or 5 hours and they turn off that respirator, how many sets do you think your lungs can do after being pushed up and down, hundreds, thousands times, hours, and then they take you off the machine? How many more sets do you think your lungs can do after that? Thank you, Lisa. Much love, much agape. How many sets do you think your lungs can do? How many sets of pumps, pump it up, pump it up for an hour, pump it up, pump. God, we were in there an hour, pump it. All right, turn them off. All right, ready? You're on your own. How many sets can your lungs do after that set of how many thousands of repetitions? That's, you think you get 1 rep? Thank you. You guys are seeing what I'm saying. I don't even think it could be pushed up. Once they turn them off, guys, you're done. Most of these people didn't make it very long after that. I'm not kidding you. You guys know how many people I talked to, people out here in this county that I live in, because there was a lot of people that were elderly, had some issues. They went in the hospital and they told me, man, Tracy, oh my God. I said, look, I don't want to tell you this, but I want to talk to you. I know you just lost your spouse and I want to talk about this. And I know this is difficult. I'm the guy in town you guys run from, but I've been standing up for a while because I see what's happening. Can I talk to you? Or they would be listening to me like you guys and go, oh my God, that's exactly what happened to my husband. That's exactly what happened to my daughter. That's exactly what happened to my wife. Brothers and sisters, now listen. Remember people dropping like flies. Dropping like flies, guys. At any time they can drop you like a fly. Don't you ever forget that. Remember spontaneous combustion? Hello? In the 60s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s? What happened to that? How come anybody hasn't spontaneously combusted? This energy has been around. This patent energy wave, oxygen wave, directed energy type of technology has been around for a long time, brothers and sisters. They can drop you right in your footprint, right where you stand, 10-toe, bam. Remember, that's exactly what we're happening to completely healthy people. It just takes turning the dial up a little bit is all it takes. There's not much. You guys were just beginning to see what they can do with this system. I'm letting you know it was patented by the United States Navy. It has nothing to do with your internet. So that is a lesson that I'm glad that there are a couple other you people understand what they did, because it was never about no virus. It was always about sticking you with that greatest sticker ever. You know what I'm saying? Or it's COVID. So it's hard for me to talk about that, guys, because I have the deepest sympathy for people who were caught up into this. People lost their spouses over nothing, guys. They didn't have any COVID. They never got, the PCR test was flawed. The guy who said he put out the PCR test said, look, you guys are using this in the wrong fashion. I never made this test to test for COVID. This isolates the coronavirus, not the CV, and it blows it up so we can see it. It's like putting it under a microscope, like under a seamed reading glass, and pulling that away, and it gets bigger. That's all that test did. That's all that test did. So if you lost somebody, brothers and sisters, listen to me. If you lost somebody in this, All glory to God for getting the fuck out of here. This place is a horrid, terrible place. And they don't have to be a witness to any more of these disgusting, terrible things that since then that all of us have had to be a witness. This place is not an easy place to be right now, guys. What just happened in the whole world was just literally, this didn't just happen in America. This happened in every nation. Lockstep, every stand on the X, put on the ritualistic shame muzzle. This was never about a virus. The only reason they called it Corona is so they can signal the coming of the Antichrist, brothers and sisters. There are two kings. The heading of this video is "Let no man take your crown." And that's what they did. The Corona beer crown, correct? There's a solar corona around the sun. Isn't that a beautiful thing about it, though, Monica? Thank you. Thank you so much, though, because a lot of people were shaken after COVID, guys. A lot of people, us conspiracy theorists that they call us for years. Noah was a conspiracy theorist, and then it rained. A lot of us they're like, God, those people are a lot smarter than we thought. That's right. So please do not condemn a brother and sister if they took that jab, brothers and sisters. Don't condemn them. There's nothing, they're not human. They're not marked with the beast. That has nothing to do with it. Now, I warn you about somebody who took the jab and got boosted again. Maybe not, because like you said, there was an awake. But if they took a second boost or a third, a fourth boost, please, that's somebody who just didn't even try, guys. That's where fear overcome. That people probably are still wearing the mask. You know what I'm saying? Still wearing the mask today. And don't give up, whatever. If they live in fear, to leave them alone. They have a right, leave them alone. Don't give them a hard time. I still see people wearing the mask and it drives me bananas. You know what I'm saying? So, whatever. They got me going gorilla, man. I'm serious. You know, I'm going ape shit in here, guys. I'm telling you, I don't want to just go, seriously, I ain't playing, guys. This is hard to watch. Imagine as a veteran, we go kill women and children in other countries such as Iraq, you know, Kuwait, you know, Saudi, all these places where the women veil. That's called Sharia law, brothers and sisters. Sharia law, okay? Where the women veil their faces, burqas. And you come back to America, we kill women and children in other countries and fighting age men so people don't have to wear mask and burqa and, you know, Sharia law in America. And imagine a veteran returning to this, or imagine somebody who did something like this and has, you know, that death blood on their hands serving the system. And then in America, you see men covering their faces. You're like, what the fuck is going on here? I thought it was only the women who covered their faces. You men are a bunch of pussies. You really are. You men in America really have a lot of work to do. And I don't mean to go there, but you guys really failed the women of this country. You are supposed to be something that women look up to, a strong person to speak up in their behalf. And they can speak up too, but you know what I'm saying? This was something that women look for, a strong man who's not afraid to stand up for the right of the people, who thinks about a bigger thing than just self. Where were you, American men? I saw more women stand up during the virus than I did see men. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Or I'm not sorry, Lisa. I apologize. So I'm serious. I'm calling you out, man. I made videos about it and blew my TikTok channel up massive because of that same subject. People wanted to hear it. And I put a lot of visuals and put a lot of time in those videos back there to show you guys that you're just standing down when you have a choice to use your mouth. I never called for violence and overthrowing the government with second. I called about redressing grievances, using our voice, using the freedom of choice is what I was reminding people, because I don't do freedom, but I was reminding people that I serve veterans, that we don't kill women and children in other countries so that people have to wear and stand on the X and wear this, so that people could be free. Rights. We'll use the words just for now. Do you understand? If the mask works, shut the fuck up. Leave that person alone. I know you have a First Amendment, but I'm going to require you, or ask you at this point in time, I don't require anything, to use your Fifth Amendment right and shut up. Leave them alone. If your mask works, what in the hell are you worried about? Stop talking to him about not wearing a mask. This is America. He can want to or not. He want to or not. If the mask works, shut up. Does that make sense, guys? So that's why it was hard for me as a veteran to sit there and watch people pin each other against. I'm like, you guys, this should be a choice. This should be a choice. You've taken their right to choose away. And this is where I have I don't care about freedom. I care about rights. The right to choose whether you want to or nothing can be forced on you in this country. That's the way it was. Remember? No monopolies, no court, not this. No. So it was really hard to watch. And I'm telling you guys, if you'll look into this, brothers and sisters, the effects from COVID had way more devastation on this nation and all nations. Suicide went up. Domestic violence went up. Murder went up. All these things increased with this virus, not just the deaths that were involved from. These are outside influences from these things. Yes, people with massive disability disorders, there was a massive level in all these things to include unexplained deaths. So this is a very serious thing that we went through, brothers and sisters. And for people to stand around and think that these governments are there to help them, I beg to differ. And that's why I am so anti-government, at a state level, county level, federal level, because these people do not have the rights of the people in mind. All they're trying to do is lock up their own futures with the money now, and then you get a little $1,200 measly check, and the future generations owe $400 million a piece. Each one of you know right now, $400 million, that's what you owe per household, per person. Today, that's what you owe. You think you can pay that off? No, you're not. They just spent the future's money during this whole warp speed thing too, guys. Donald Trump spent more money than any other president in the history of the United States of America. I want to hear your thoughts on lizard people. I bet you can go for hours on that. Sure, that's just the Canaanite bloodline, Jabber. That's not, there's no such thing as reptilians or lizard people, but it's Leviathan. That's man spinning off into, the great red dragon, right? There's your serpent. There's your reptilian. There's your Draco. There's your snake, crawls on its belly, right? There it is. There's your lizard people. That's the Canaanites. That's the one that was in the garden. That's the bastard child, obviously, that Eve had. Abel, right? Was Cain. Remember? Cain. There you go. There's your reptilian race, the blue bloods. Blue bloods. Red and blue. There's no such thing as lizard people, guys. That's just man doing their own little alien nonsense. That's just the serpent that was in the garden. So, just man has turned it into something that it's not. Created their own, oh, Bella, don't come on to me. I have not been with the lady in a long time. So it's not about looks. How about my brains? Man, your brains are beautiful. If I ever have a wife, she's going to go, man, your brains are so beautiful. I love you for your brains, honey. Your exterior rough shells, I get like beef jerky. But your brains just keep getting more and more attractive to me, honey. So, your brain. Oh my goodness. Anyways, no, I don't lack in the brains area. Actually, this brain just not turns off. It's my lack of companionship. Yeah, I don't know. I have my own issues, but thank you for the flattering me, because I don't look like I did when I was 20. I think I've shown you guys pictures of what I look like without a beard. It's kind of mind-numbing. People are like, that's not you. But anyways, I do this to hide my face, that I don't want nobody to like me for me because of my looks. I'd rather die single and never have a single lady in my life and just bitch and whine that I'm a lonely little crybaby, little Ken. than to be with somebody I'm not going to be equally yoked with for the rest of my life, irregardless how they look. I could find the most ugly woman in the world right now and probably think she's the most beautiful thing if she just treat me like a king, treat me like I would treat her. Seriously, guys, I would. I don't just. I'd have to be an attraction, but there's no, there's no looks aren't it for me. I'd rather have somebody who can be equally yoked with me. I just don't. I don't want to. I don't want to. I don't want a loner wife. If that makes sense. I don't want a loner wife. So, anyways, but thanks for the compliment. You're flattering me. So I wish, like I said, when I was 20 years old, I had some looks about me, but I've lost, my looks have faded, and now I have what is called a brain, and I use that to try to, well, whatever. Some people puff up their feathers, and I'm trying to puff up my brain with knowledge. So, but anyways, thank you guys for appreciate it. We all need a little flattery every once in a while, so to speak, brothers, sisters. We all want to feel like we're not just this monster, so to speak, Beauty and the Beast. You know what I'm saying? So thank you, Bella, or whatever. Yeah, I think that's what your name was, or whatever, for flattering me a little bit, because it would be so nice to have somebody tell me that they love me again and truly feel that love from them, because I've felt it before, somebody to tell me that I'm their everything, so to speak. And so it's okay. I have the Father. I cling to that. I cling to my animals. I cling to the things that I do have, and whine sometimes about the things that I don't, but I always have what I need. So, but if I could have anything in this dirt, if I could have one single thing in this dirt, I wouldn't be an actual possession. It would be that companionship, a help mate is what the word God calls it. A team. I'd love to be a team with somebody. And like I said, have somebody go, man, this is so wild out here. I love it. It's like a freaking movie set out here. It's like we're living in the 1800s, man. John Wayne out here. You're such a weirdo, dude. Everything you do is weird, but I like you. You're so weird. Remember we talked about that yesterday, about tolerance. It's not how much you love somebody. It's how much you can stand somebody that matters. That's what it's about. And still just love them for their little things that normally might drive you crazy, but that's just the little things that you love about them. If not, get out of there. Don't be sitting there and be with somebody. If you don't try to change them. That's why you need to find somebody who's equally yoked. And that's why I don't think I'll ever find anybody. It would have to be of God. I can't do it. I've tried to find a spouse, not like that, like going out there. I've tried to let it organically happen, and it didn't. So, it's not of the will of the Father. It's not of the will of my own, because if I had my own, I would have somebody who here with me right now, and God doesn't want that for me. So I'll go to bed alone tonight, and I'll wake up alone tomorrow. And if that was anybody different, there's trillions of people that wake up. There's people on the streets that have nothing, dirty, filthy, right? Whatever. And they got a spouse next to them who loves the heck out of them. You know what I'm saying? So they don't love them that's the kind of love I want, guys, honestly, or I don't want nothing. If I can't have a woman love me through my best and my worst, because that's to love, if you ask me. And I'm not talking about some people who are, strung out, and I'm not trying to go there, but I'm talking about people who live with each other in a box, no matter where they go. It's not about the things that they have. It's about having that connection with somebody. So, I don't know if I'll ever find that in my life or not. But I know that it'll have to be from the will of the Father. So, I cannot, get in the way of the will of the Father, because I know he could, yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. That's why I don't want to push it. I talk about it, but I'm not out here just throwing myself out there. I've done it before, so to speak, kind of for a minute, and not like that, but it wouldn't be organic. The Lord will show, the Lord giveth and the Lord taketh away. So, okay, I know that I may too, Marie. I know some of us will. You know what I'm saying? I might not have anybody when I leave this place. I'm very alone right now, very isolated, and don't have any friends or family that I have regular. There was a guy that was here, but he moved away, and it's not like that. I only just met him recently. So nobody from high school, nobody from, decades that I've known. I don't have any of that. I just have me out here and God. So I thank God that I have you guys. Seriously, this is such a blessing. This ministry is such a blessing, having this place to come in here and not be so isolated. Even though you're just on the other side of the screen, brothers, sisters, I feel like you guys, some of you are so real. Even though I can't see you, even though I can't talk to you, smell your aroma of your oil of your skin, being around your scent, literally, I'm a very observant person. I can feel your energy. I know that you're very real on the other side of the screen. So even though that most of my friends, if not all my friends, are online, at least I got somebody, man. It could be worse. So I'm so happy that I listened to Brother Jim and found Grace and Truth years ago. And he eventually decided to have enough audacity to call and become part of the channel. And he told me to make this channel. So without Brother Jim and his lesson of the Word of God, because he wasn't telling me, it was Brother Jim's through the Word telling me that you're supposed to fellowship with your brethren, Tracy, and you're not. You've isolated yourself, and just reading the Word by yourself and with God is not how this works. So you're not actually doing God's will right now. You are in a sense, but you're not listening what God says. You cannot just pull yourself away from society. That's nice. I think that's amazing. You've definitely been hovering over this word, but that's not, you obviously are having an issue, and you call me because obviously you want some help, but I'm telling you where it's at, because you've separated yourself from society. So stop turning yourself on and turn on fellowship. So I created this channel. Thank you, Brother Jim, in making the word. He put the word on me. He put the word on me. He didn't say, Tracy, you do this because I said so. He said, this is what it says in the book. Iron sharpens iron. You need to fellowship with your brothers and sisters. Edify each other with the word of God. So does that make sense? Lisa, where are you at? If you don't mind, if you want to give up your location, I think you're in the States. I may have asked you before, but I forgot where you were. Oh, man, goodness. What part of the, oh, yeah. I didn't sleep last night, guys. This place is still on fire. I don't know if you guys hear all these helicopters flying all over. They're constantly back and forth out here. So they're bringing water in from, I believe, the lakes right here behind me and everything. It's pretty major out here. This is a massive fire that's not been contained at all. So I probably need to update myself on what's going on, guys, because again, they did put an evacuation order for one road. I'm on the same road. It's just I'm on the southern portion. The northern portion is Arizona. Okay, yeah, you told me that. I apologize, forgot. So anyways, we should Lisa, I'll contact you off of this platform, because I know I finally got to those emails the other day, and I meant to write you back and something came up or something. But if you just want to chat off of this that's the one that you get messed up by wildfires. Yeah, that's why I think they're flushing people out with these wildfires, guys, a lot. So anyways, I'm really hard to get a hold of, guys. And so I know from time to time, like Lisa's just contacted, we're just off the platform, guys, where God gives me opportunity. And I don't take it, because I get not like that. I don't get opportunities are made in my life. Nothing falls in my lap. You know what I'm saying? At 15-minute cities. Absolutely. So I'll be back on. I'm going to kind of take it easy today, guys. The smoke is so thick out there. It's just laying all over this valley like a pillow. And it is very hard to go out there. I cannot do the concrete work that I wanted to do today. So, cool. Well, hey, you should go back and, Kevin, watch the lesson on 5G. We just gave a complete unveiling. There was an apocalypse in here, a revelation, if you will. Hey, thank you, guys. I appreciate it. I know that was a hard one to kind of chew on and swallow, to think that's what they did, but it should make sense when you were looking back at what I was talking about through the years that we went through this. People dropping like flies, these people spinning. A lot of you people lost family members. Just suddenly they were completely fine. So this will give you a chance to, if you can, guys, go watch that. You guys are, man, you guys are really edifying. Thank you, man. You really made sure. Guys, I should be doing fleshly things right now. I should be doing fleshly things right now, but I'm not. I'm here spending my time with you, and I feel that this is way more valuable than it could have done anything. Okay? anything that I could have went and done on this earth, because I have a major list of things like Noah. I have Noah type things that I'm doing, building an ark. Okay. So I appreciate steaks. I haven't had any red meat in about a month. I hadn't bought any because I just haven't been going to town. So I bought some chuck eye steaks. I wish I had one of you with me here to share these steaks with, guys, because I bought 2 of them and I defrosted them, and I'm going to cook them both, and I'll use the other one later to make burritos and tacos or whatever. Just get it all cooked up, because I don't do. I live out of a cooler because I don't want to have any extra expenses, and I'm building a dream of community. Yeah, chuck eye is the best, man. Isn't chuck eye? Is so good, man. It's so wonderful. I just had some burger last night, guys, and it was so good because I barbecued. I'm just tasting some red meat, man. I'll go hungry. Cool. So anyways, brothers and sisters, I'll be back on. Like I said, I should be doing fleshy things of this world, but I'm not. I'm going to take it easy today. I had something going on last night on the live stream with my right hand side. I'm doing a little better. I didn't get but just maybe an hour or 2 of sleep. I need to update myself on what's going on out here. That's right. Do organic. Yeah, I have good access to good meat where I'm out here, Kevin. I really do. I'm very finicky. I sold meat for 12 years of my life, all traceable, Angus, all gold medallion pork, wild caught seafood, all free range, true free range, not cage free range chicken. I know what good meat is. Oh, guys, bless you guys. Thank you so much again for edifying me with my lesson here. I hope that you took something from this. And guys, I didn't want this to happen, what I just went through. But if you understand that there's, yeah, I'll be back on, guys. Absolutely. I might just, what I want you to do is give me about an hour or 2, maybe 2. This is the time. If you have not seen my channel content, will you please spend 5 minutes of your day? It's the Sabbath day of rest. Go over and look at the 3-minute and 33-second video on the water overlay of the title shift that I potentially think that will be coming on 10/24/24. Look up that's a 3-minute and 33-second video. There's 2 more that I'd like you to watch. They're about a minute a piece. I think one's about 58 seconds a minute. One is called 10/24/24, and the other one is called the 6th extinction event. These are very short videos, very easy to comprehend. I wish I had a better content platform to create things, but I'm creating it off a 4G phone with a CapCut type things. I'm trying to produce the best content to show you my evidence of what I believe potentially could happen when we have this crossing, this theolobos, this pinching that we're about to see in 47 days. Yep, I already told you, Sticky. Who discovered that first, Sticky? Please, let's teach off your comment. Who discovered the underwater on the new $100 bill? Just saying. And that's not new. That's been out for a long time now. John Clark. Close. That would be Mr. Kleck. Okay. There you go. Thank you. So we thank Jonathan that he took the time and has just such amazing spiritual eyes, because you know how edifying that is for me, Sticky? You know what I'm saying? To see that water thing and know that if it happens, it was already, I don't want this to happen, guys. I don't want any water to come onto the land. Not one of it. This is not a whole earth water event where the waters came from above and below, brothers and sisters. This is a shaking and a shift of the tides that potentially could happen. It was 79 AD was the last time we were in this gas giant alignment. So go check out my videos. Go look at what I'm showing you. Something could cancel the magnetics, you might call it gravity, on this earth. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, hallelujah. You see what I'm saying? Because we knew it. I'm like, holy crap, what is this? You know, the 9/11 buildings, all this, the White House, all of that. So it's like God speaks through some of us, you know, so to speak, by the works that we do in here. You know, this is part of it. I'm just part of this, guys. I've been doing this just as long as Jonathan Kleck, some of these people, BP. The other one, guys, I want to give a shout out to somebody, too, that put out a video. I haven't watched it yet, but okay, well, and that is, does anybody watch? Oh, I didn't talk about the deagle. Who asked about the deagle map? Somebody was in here, and I'll make a mention. Then I better go, guys. But again, these let's just talk about the deagle maps real quick. The deagle map, because I don't know who asked that earlier. I think it was, I can't remember. The deagle map's talking about the population, decrease of population of certain continents on this earth. And it's right in this timeline that I'm telling you. Now, I remember 10 years ago, I think is when they first came out with what is called the deagle map. And it shows that certain populations die off dramatically. I mean, a lot. It's a lot of the Western nations, brothers and sisters. If you look at these BRICS nations, a lot of these BRICS nations that are aligned with the Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa on those lists, what also shows, if you watch a channel called Truth Stream Media, her and her husband put out a video on the birth rates on all the continents, and it is declining. Like in America, we are now producing less people than we are actually. You have to have like, what, 2.5 kids? A half? What do you mean a half? But you have to at least produce more than the 2. So you have to have that, and where birth rates are declining with such things like genetically modified foods, fluoridating the water, obviously, attacking our gut bacteria. There's a spraying our skies. We're being attacked from all sides. So the deagle map showed the decline of the population. And guys, I remember 10 years ago, and there's no way, there's a big map. And here we are. We already started to see it with the jab. So it's already starting. If you don't, and never been on that, it's DEAGLE, I believe. Go look at that. It's just a graph. Go look at that while we're taking a break here. We'll come back on, but look at the deagle maps, guys, because it shows right on this timeline that a big chunk of the population is about to be no mas. No birthday next year. See ya, Maria. You're gone. You're out of here. Like I said, no birthday next year. They're done. Vanita, over through. Ain't no sense in sending them to ICU dead. That's a wrap. That's the end of that. Making sense? So this shows these things, and it has a lot to do with, if you look around, you look at my tidal shift, you look at the extinction event that we're in, you look at all this. Yeah, I do. I should get off here. Thank you so much. But this is happening, guys. This is really happening. And this is an amazing time to be a witness to these days too. So don't get your head so far down into your studies that you don't forget to look up and notice the things of the world too that are happening, and do enjoy some of these beautiful things that God gave us here to enjoy on this earth, like other brothers and sisters in Christ, which is a beautiful thing that I have in my life, guys. I don't have many things like that I really enjoy in my life. It's a lot of tribulation. It's a lot of suffering. I have it very well. But one of the things that I do really enjoy is having this ministry and somebody to talk to. So let me go. Let me get something to eat here, and I'll see you guys here in an hour or two. Go watch the Died Suddenly. And the other one I wanted to give off, because he did like this hour thing. If anybody wants to go off on that, Richie from Boston. Does anybody watch Richie's from Boston? I'm going to go old school on you guys. Man, there's a lot of aircraft up there. Hold on. I want to see how big this one is. This one's pretty big. Okay, guys, and if you want to see what was going on, out here last night in this desert at the rim of the Northern Great Basin, there was flames probably 200 feet tall, maybe even higher, 200 and 300 feet tall on the live stream last night. Go watch last night's live. It's towards the end of the live where I went out, but you can see there's this valley there's something going on out here, guys, and I don't believe this is the only place that this is. And I believe just like with this immigrant thing, this is just the start of what we're about to see. Everything should just increase in intensity. Everything you see now is just the beginning. This is the best day. Tomorrow will not get better. That's not how the word is written. MAGA is Antichrist. Make America great again. It's not going to get great again. It will get worse before it ever gets better. Okay? So prepare for that. Thrive in this environment. Be ready so that you can help other brothers and sisters while they're starving. Feed them. That's right. Remember when you fed him in the streets and he didn't have any clothes on him, you clothed me, the body. So remember to be ready for that, brothers and sisters. Be ye ready. Prepare Ye the way. The way is the Hados, brothers and sisters. It is the narrow way. To be in the same narrow way as Christ. So as things break down, you don't live under eye for an eye. He said, let vengeance be mine. Start acting with some humanity. Please ask yourself, what would Jesus do in this situation, and do that. Okay. I want to talk to you about my situation when I come back, guys. I'm at a crossroads in my life. And I know that God wills all things, but if you'll come back in here, and I'll try to break myself down a little bit more on a personal level and ask your guys' opinion. I need your opinion on some things, guys. I really do. I'm going to lean on you guys for your opinion. I want your honest opinion on maybe how my life I need change in my life, guys. I can still continue what I'm doing, but I'm borderline. You do the same thing over and over and over and over and expect different results, brothers. That would drive a man or a woman insane. And I run into that wall over and over and over and over and over. And I'm trying to keep my sanity here, but it's getting thin, if you will. So I think if I changed some things in my life, which I have been trying to do, I would feel better about I'd feel better. I'm struggling a little bit mentally, and I normally am just fine mentally. I'm not crazy yet, but I'm getting there. No, I'm crazy. I'm freaking batshit crazy, brothers, sisters. But I am about to lose my mind as far as by going insane, and I don't want to do that because I'm trying to get different results out of something I've been trying for over a decade to achieve. And I've been unsuccessful at doing that, and I need to change because somebody can only do something for so long before it will drive a man or a woman insane. So I'll talk to you about what it is. I have some big, massive changes that I need to do to make those things, and sometimes it takes sacrifice to make the change, so to speak. Okay, and I'll talk to you about that because I think we all maybe need to do that with what is coming. And I'm talking about recession, okay? The economy. We're going to talk a little bit about economics in my life and how I can get myself ready for what is coming in this situation. So I'll give you a little hint and a little teaser. I'm thinking about selling everything I own, which I already have up for sale, but literally fire sale pricing everything I own because I just don't care about it anymore. It's not important to me. And if I have all these things in the breakdown of what I think is coming, where things go on sale, nobody's going to be buying half the shit I own. They're not, brothers and sisters. Nobody, when things break down, nobody cares about big screen TVs. They care about generators and, propane stoves and things. They're not going to care about how many big screen TVs you have in your home. This quite worrisome. In America, they've got a big 5-bedroom house. They can even take their little screen in the pooper with them now, the TV, right, to do their business and study on the old toilet right there, right? But anyways, they got a 5-bedroom house. They got 5 big screen TVs, once for each room, and they don't even have one generator. That's scary to me. Seriously, these kind of people scare the hell out of me, guys. They're not prepared for what is to come. So I have to figure out where is my priority in life right now, and maybe you guys can help me narrow that down. Because what I want to do is not fight with anybody. Fight or flight. You got one decision, one way, and one decision the other. And you need to make that decision on what you're going to do now, because I guarantee you, if you don't make that decision, you haven't thought about it, you'll probably choose the fight mode because your instincts. A dog is biting you if you try to beat it because it's not trying to bite you, it's trying to protect itself. Right? Animals normally don't attack. A lot of them don't attack. They're just defending themselves. So I will defend myself. If I can find me an equally yoked wife, I defend her too, but I don't want to fight with anybody. I want to figure out a way to take her away from get her in the woods, take her away from society, and then be close enough to society where we can still pop into society from time to time to re-up on supplies and do the things. And because I realize too, guys, that I can't own anything. No, I can't. I have this land. The only way is if somebody can help me out in a sense, or something God will help me out and something will sell where I can pay this land off and donate it to the church so that the government can't tax it or take it from the ministry. I'm willing to walk away from everything I own. I don't need it. It's not important. If I don't have anybody to help me with this, this is what I did for 10 years. So that's what I'll talk about. What do I do from here? So I'll just explain in more details. And I want to know what you think on what I should do. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't want to fight anybody. And I know what I'm doing is in my understanding. It's better to get away from chaos than it is to get involved with it. Be not partakers in their unfruitful works of darkness. So I don't want to be a part of it. Would you rather fight or would you rather leave now? Or would you rather stay and fight? I don't want to fight, brothers and sisters. I know what it is to fight. I'm a veteran. I've defended this country. I know what it is to defend. I know what it is to fight. I'm done doing that. I don't want to do that anymore. I want to fight and figure out how, hey, honey, what are we going to have to eat tonight? You know what I'm saying? You want squirrel or you want rabbit? I don't know. Maybe we could find us a deer or something. I've never had squirrel. Well, me neither. Let's try it, though. It'll probably be pretty good. Haven't you ever watched Bear Grylls? He's a straight vegan. He eats that stuff. So anyways, that's what I'm talking about, brothers and sisters. I want to get my life where I have mobility, okay? I want to talk about, maybe you can help me with some ideas, so to speak, on how to make it happen. Because it's all money, guys. It truly comes down to money. But I have assets. I'm not trying to grift anybody. So I'm going to try to figure out the best way to get these things sold. I'm even thinking about, I brought, the neighbor came over today, again, because of the fire. And I told him about selling my cabin. And he's like, really? And I told him my price. He's like, I don't think you would have any problem selling that for that price. This thing is an absolute wow, Tracy. Oh, whoa. This is really one-off, man. This is nice. You know, he's like, wow, this is very comfortable. I said, well, it's the energy. All these materials are from all over this valley in different places, and they've been reused. So this building has a certain energy in it because of all the you know, yeah, I can't homestead because he won't. So I was thinking about selling that cabin that I've been building, guys, because I could buy the truck I need with that cabin. So, or even potentially pay the land off. That's about how much I own. That cabin could pay for the land. But there goes all my source of income to try to stay busy. But who cares? I'm planning on using this as a backup now, so to speak, if that makes sense. So I'm kind of already leading you to where I'm going with this, which is the same thing I've already been telling you, mobility. So I want to see if maybe you guys can Bone Echo, where am I plan to cool. So cool time. I hope you guys understand. Yeah, I think it'd be better to leave society before it gets too bad, if that makes sense. Okay. And it'd be better to practice now. You can always go back to the cities. They don't have legs. They don't grow like that. They do grow, but they don't, you know what I'm saying? Is that Canada? Cool. I mean, yeah, Ontario, Canada. So anyways, nice. That's a good spot to write out, man. I like that. That's cool. That's a good spot, man. I really like that. So Timex, are you subscribed to Canadian Prepper up there? Canadian Prepper? He's amazing. He's probably oh man, that dude's channel is so freaking Nate, such a freaking rock star. Freaking Nate is such a cool dude. He's not as faithful or, of faith as some of us, but man, that a man by his fruits. And I'll tell you what, Nate is. And look now too, guys, you should take somebody who's done preparedness for a long time. Nate at Canadian Prepper has done a preparedness, right? What is Nate doing right now, guys? Who subscribed? Lady in Red always freaking, you know what I'm saying? Is dropping links to Canadian Prepper. Okay, what's Canadian Prepper? What's Nate doing right now? He could be doing it. What's Dabu7 doing right now? What's Casey from Enter the Stars doing right now? What's Richie from Boston doing? What are some of these people doing, brothers and sisters? What are these people doing? They're getting ready, huh? They've already separated themselves from society. They're becoming self-sufficient. They're becoming more prepared every single day, more prepared. That way they'll be able to help people later. So please, 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 the cream will rise to the top. Canadian Prepper is a great website for somebody to, like I said, how long has Nate been doing that channel? Nate finally said, okay, enough is enough, guys. I'm going to my homestead. Now, he said he might just disappear, and he didn't. That's why I love Nate. Thank you, Nate, for not turning off the world completely. That's right. Here it comes. The big money always moves first. Thank you, never ever, because that is truly, we see the central banks buying more gold than the history of the central banks. So the big money always moves first. Okay, so some of these people are positioning themselves for what is about to happen as well. So that's how many CEOs retired in 2023? It should be a dead giveaway what's coming, guys. Okay, I mean, some of us know it. Come on, we're already here in a lot of ways. It's already happening. So, but I have to give mad respect to Nate at Canadian Prepper up there in the Canadian dicks up there with the old trailer park boys with Ricky and Bubbles up there, and yeah, the whole clan over there, the J Rock. Okay, they're up there in the Providences and good old cool. So I don't know if you guys watch the Trailer Park Boy. I don't do too much of that type of stuff. Those guys are absolutely hilarious. But anyways, Canadians are good people. They're very resilient people, brothers, sisters. They have been through hell too. I think you've forgotten what the Canadian, related to Fidel Castro, we know Trudeau, right? What a tyrant that knucklehead is. And the resilience of the Canadians who have pushed through a lot of hard times, especially during the COVID, guys. This has not been an easy time for the Canadians. So I do appreciate my, that's what Pug One is. Do you guys know what Pug One Life is? Pug1life.com. Okay. Pug One is he's a ginger, and he jumps over stuff. He broke his back jumping over, I think, school buses with a motorhome. He's up there in Canada. If you don't watch his channel, I haven't watched it forever, but he is absolutely funny. Those guys are funny, and they do know the Trailer Park Boys, guys. So up there, funny. Guys, I don't normally have very much of that stuff in my life. Pug One, the go-kart acrobats, right? Zero Fox Doodle, right? Doodle? You guys that old? Pug One? Is Doodle still around? Zero Fox! Send it, right? Zero Fox given, right? Guys, I don't do much of that, man. What a cool dude that guy is too. And he has his cannabis channel, which is pretty cool too. So I dig people who can, have a little entertainment in their life and still be very, very serious people. So I find that time that a little bit of stuff like that's good. And I don't do much of that slapstick type comedy, but do enjoy me a little Trailer Park Boys. Yeah. Ricky, and Julian, with this. Come on, guys. What's the best Trailer Park video? What's your favorite episode of Trailer Park Boys? And then we better go. And then what was the best meme? Because I've already told you what was the best meme of the COVID. It was a northerly theme. This is only for the people who watch Trailer Park Boys. You have to have watched Trailer Park Boys. I don't know how many seasons. I know. And I call you Sticky Ricky. Propane, nice. Okay, all right. Cool. There's a lot of good episodes, right? A lot of good seasons. So I think my favorite episode is Hash Driveway. That's the way she girds, boys. Terrible, Rick, sicky Rick, right? I'm on the liquor terrible, Julian, right? Freaking them Pug One dicks over there, right? You guys know they know each other, right? Pug One and them, they know the Trailer Park Boys, and Pug One know each other. Obviously, they're both up in Canada, so it's not that hard, but they do truly. I think they've been on each other's show and stuff too. So obviously, we love Bubbles, right? Because he loves kitties. Heck yeah. It's like bubbles of my kitties. See, I'm like bubbles of my kitties. Boys. Yeah, like bubbles with the kitties. So, okay. Hashtag driveway. I think that's my favorite episode. Hash driveway, guys. That was so hilarious. Freaking too much, guys. Too much. I do like when J Rock had the concert at his house, though, right? Wicked, wicked, wicked. Yeah. So, anyways, all right. So the Randy with your cheeseburgers, terrible. Freaking Randy. Listen, you guys. I don't want to tell you this, guys. I shouldn't, but I know of this lady that I know. She lives in Eugene, Oregon, and she is super beautiful woman, man. She has some amazing tattoos. She's closer to my son's age. Okay, my son knocked one off with that lady. He's such a knucklehead. But anyways, she's really very pretty. She's very, very pretty. It's not about looks, guys, but she's a very unique person. Very unique person. You guys, she slept with Randy. That big cheeseburger gut. And she's so freaking beautiful. And she's really neat person too, but she likes the Trailer Park Boys, and she and Randy. Cheeseburger, Randy. I'm like, of all the people, you're serious? She's like, oh, Randy. She's like, he wanted them. Like, so yeah, let's do it, Randy. You know, so anyways, those guys are some pretty wild dudes in the person. So, you know, because I know some personally who had some cheeseburgers with Randy. Seriously, guys. And she is freaking like a 9.5. She's a very, very beautiful woman. Just a very, very beautiful woman. God makes some very beautiful women, but her and Randy. Julian? Like, seriously, cheeseburger Randy? She's like, yep. So is it good? She's like, yeah, hell yeah. He beat that shit up. I'm like, oh, cool. Did you get the bump on the front? Yeah, she's like, so anyways, wow, guys, what a crazy small world we live in, huh? So, yeah, I know somebody who went up there and hung out with them for a minute, and there's some pretty crazy dudes, guys. So, you know, old Randy and right. So we all know what's going on with Randy, right? So he's on the cheeseburgers, terrible, sick. I know. So all right, guys, much love. We're gonna end with the meme of the COVID, the number one meme of the COVID, hands down. I was the meme master during the COVID. The number one meme. Put your best meme in there right now. What was a meme? Put your best meme in the COVID meme. If you had any, if you remember, put a COVID meme. I had hundreds of them. I literally made hundreds of memes during the COVID. I was the meme master. The number one meme of the COVID was, you can't catch the COVID if you're already the illest. Know what I'm saying? J-Rock. Dude, that freaking was, I saw that. I'm like, oh my God. I have not even produced any meme that's anywhere close to that. That was the best meme of the whole COVID. That's right. You can't catch the COVID if you're already the illest. Know what I'm saying? J-Rock. I love that meme, guys. So I don't know if you saw that one, but that was the meme of the COVID. I'm telling you. So for any of you guys that like Trailer Park Boys, you're probably a little laughing right now. I don't know. I've seen to have lost you guys there on this stream, but went a little off the deep end. You're like, we were going to get off here 30 minutes ago, man. We're even hanging in here thinking we're going to go somewhere else. Want to watch that video. So, all right, guys. Thank you for your time. If anybody wants to support the channel monetarily, I see a couple of people throwing up dollar signs. You want to make it rain up in here. There's a Cash App link if you want to support the ministry. Support my work that I do out here for you, for the Father carrying the cross. Appreciate it. The other day, somebody gave me a Cash App, and I was able to go because I bought some new tires. The left one went flat. I had to go buy all more, to replace. Man, you guys really bailed me out. Otherwise, I wouldn't even have a vehicle to drive out of this driveway today. So thank you so much. I had to put the used tires back on there, but others, but whatever, by the skin of my teeth and by somebody's Cash App donation, that brought me through a kind of a lean time. So I better go, guys. I better check these messages. Again, I'll talk to you more about what I'm coming up. I have $700 of land payments to pay in 7 days, and I don't have a job. my job is to sell my possessions, the things that I own. I fix some things already up that I was talking about. I might even sell my cabin. I've got 45 acres of land for sale. So I'm not just sitting in here trying to grift you. So, you know, I'll come out and maybe talk to you guys again when I come back on maybe a solution. I've been seriously thinking of my property about $1,500 an acre, guys, dropping it to under $2,000 an acre. I think it'll sell quick at that rate. So fire sale price is coming potentially on my part, but I don't like doing that, brothers. I'll talk to you about that again. You ruin the market, sell things below market value. But I think we're getting ready to see a big dip in the price of a lot of things, and people ain't gonna be wanting to buy about half of what I own. Things end, motorhomes, end of the season, things. Help me, please. Come back later and help me get through this very difficult time, because I've been up against a wall that I've been pushing up against for 10 years, and I cannot seem to get around it, guys. I can't seem to get around this wall. So maybe you guys have a way to help push me around this or something, or maybe you've got a way to go around a different, you know what I'm saying? A different idea that I never would have. I'm like, oh my God, thank you. That will be the solution, and it'll be a God. So this will be God's will. But I need to have this change that I need coming, because I can't continue to what I'm doing here. I think I will go insane, guys. I'm fighting a little bit of depression, and I'm okay. But I'll definitely need to make some changes in my life. And so I'm hoping you guys can come up with some ideas to help me bring that change in my life. I have options. I'll show you. I need to pick your brains for ideas if you can, and tell me what you think, because you'll think of something that I never even thought about. That's why I miss my son so much, guys. I call up my son and he think of something I never even thought of. I'm like, yeah, all right, son, I'm not using it, but thank you. Then why the hell do you even call me, Dad? I need your opinion, son. You never even use it, Dad. Well, I know, but I always call for it, don't I? I ain't shutting you out. So, okay. So I need you guys. I need to lean on you. I don't need your money. If you want to help, you got a bunch of cryptocurrency. I have a CashApp Bitcoin. I have $40 in my CashApp. I had 50, but it's gone down. Somebody got it when it was like 63,000. So make it rain on the CashApp, or make it rain up in with amazing comments, and leave a bunch of them. Yeah, flood this conversation with good comments in the future, because money, you can be printed, and good comments and time, and that can't be taken away from us. So, yeah, microdosing mushrooms, absolutely. Psilocybins keep. I don't mess with psilocybins, but there are people who have depression, high levels of depression, brothers, sisters, different kinds of manic, different kinds of schizophrenia, and psilocybins. This state is legal psilocybins, just so you know, as well. I don't use them. I don't need them. I don't have that kind of issues, but I don't use the ketamine. I know somebody who does, and he really likes it a lot because it's natural, and he seems normal to me. He really does. He's a real high energy person like me, but he uses that. And I've never even tried it, touched it, but I looked into it and I'm like, interesting. I don't think I'd want to feel like that. The apple in the garden. Yeah, there we go. Careful, DMT. You know what I'm saying? So anyways, I'll be all right, guys. It's just because I'm doing the same thing over and 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 expecting different results. So man can only do the same thing over and over before he will go insane. So help me make the change so I can get around this wall, or help give me some ideas, guys. I can't promise if I'll use your idea or your, whatever, this different mindset, but having something different than in my mindset, I need to see something from another side. So come back here in an hour or two, go watch what, the Died Suddenly, whatever videos we recommended. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel, hit that thumbs up button. It doesn't cost a dime, one single dime to hit the thumbs up button. So that I would appreciate. And if you can break off a little bread for me, that's fine too. And if not, yeah, I wish. So I've been hearing that help was coming for 10 years. I'll talk to you about it. Come in later, Lucky, and you can still be a part of this. I can still do a lot of things. I'm not selling every single piece of land that I own. I'm keeping 20 of the 45 acres. When I can get it paid off, I will donate it to the ministry. Yes, I will. I don't want to own any land anymore. If I had a community of people homesteading, I already did all that for 5 years. Nobody ever came out here to join me. So I have to start being independent, and I can always come back to this land, even if I donate it to the church. I'm donating everything that's on the property here, the underground garden, storm shelter. There's a $500,000 storm shelter that has been built on this property that I did without having Social Security, disability, not one single dime coming in on a residual income. I don't even know how I did it. I know how I did it. I put my nose down, my head down, and I worked. And I didn't let anything get in my way. So I'm not going to let anything get in the way of this per se, because I still have a mission, if you will. You know, God is speaking to me what I need to do, but I do need to bring some change in my life, and maybe you guys can help me find out on how to do that. So I appreciate your time. I'm kind of repeating myself, but I want you to understand when you come back, I want you to kind of get some ideas maybe in your head, you know, maybe go look at some past videos. You'll see what it is that I'm talking about, what I'm trying to do for my plan for the future so that I can thrive, not just survive. I'm tired of just surviving, guys. I'm tired of just surviving. I need to get myself to where I can have a little bit more. And maybe I need to scale back because I'm biting off more than I can chew. See, that's what I'm saying. So I'm willing to dial back, humble myself, and go less. I'm not trying to grow. You know what I'm saying? I don't care about any of that anymore. I really don't care about anything but being mobile. So come help me be a part of that later on in the stream, and let me pick your brain. Okay? I don't want to pick your wallet. I want to pick your brain. I'm not a pickpocket. Okay? Let me get in your head, if you will, and give me your opinion because it matters to me. All right. I'm going to go make some steak. Sounds really good right now. Some chuck eye. I wish I had one of you to join and sup with me. It's all right. If God wanted it, you'd be here. Thanks for joining me and supping with me with the word of God, though, guys. I love you so much. Appreciate you. Keep bringing you the truth. Hopefully the aletheia is much more clear after this live stream by pulling off the lies, uncovering that aletheia about the G and all that. All right, guys, we'll talk about it more later on. Always Agape. Links are in the description if you want to support the ministry in a monetary way. Commenting and on the video is very valuable as well. You guys have not made hardly any comments on any of these past 15 or 20 live streams, but it's okay. I'm not going to force you. I'm not trying to turn a goat into a sheep or a sheep into a goat. That's the truth. Thanks for letting me bring it to you. Always Agape. I am Revelation. Pulling off the lies. I am Apocalypse. Whoa.